It's just I would say that they all some of them these idiots want to be victims.
Hmm.
Based, I would that's based though. I like her.
So, JV, happy taking it up to Pooper Month.
Oh, believe me, and I just took one. I went and watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I had to go out and drink and gamble for just to get that.
Oh, I
That's
heard
funny because
Shad. Yeah,
there's a lot of guys on our side of YouTube who are praising it.
No,
Shad wasn't. Shad didn't like it. I
no,
know Shad.
Well,
no.
Shad may not have. I mean, fucking Nerdrotic did.
I did not enjoy it. If you want a story about Spider Gwen, this is the film for you. Even though it's
Oh God.
advertised as a story about
Well,
Miles
we knew that
Morales.
was coming. That's not a
Oh
surprise, though. You know, the last movie was practically about her.
Well, this story is
Yeah,
it's a convoluted. It's about a half hour too long, and you've got a Miles Morales story mixed in with a Spider Gwen story.
iconic.
It starts with a monologue from Spider Gwen, ends with a monologue from Spider Gwen. So this is a story about Spider Gwen.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I probably wasn't gonna go see it. I thought about it, and I was just like, eh.
I'm
The
just
first
glad I
first one
paid
was
five
okay.
bucks. I'm glad I paid $5.
I have like a
Matinee show.
matinee show. Yeah,
Yep.
the matinee's $5 where you're at.
Yeah.
God, that must
nice.
be nice.
It's anywhere between 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's 650 here.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
that's still not bad.
no,
And
no,
then
but it used to be 350.
well, yes, and then I make sure to buy some. I make sure to buy some. con- I make sure to buy some concessions. So at least my trip makes the cinema more money than the studio does.
Well, yeah, yeah, I can see that. Um, we used to have this theater in another. I lived in another town, another state, and it was the $2 theater for a while, and then it was a $3 theater. But you could go see any show they had. Now this was usually these were they had these movies way after they'd been out in like regular theaters
Right.
kind of thing. But you could go see a movie $2-3 any showing anytime.
Yeah, I had a theater like that, and when I lived in SoCal, it was $1.
Yeah, yeah, those are cool too because I mean they're just as good as the other theaters. You just you wait a little longer and you can get to see it cheaper on a big screen.
Yep.
You know, I saw a lot of movies that way actually because I was cheap. And as I got older, the prices started going up. I mean, I remember
And
when I
good
was
and good for date nights.
yeah. Well, I remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, 10 years old or so, I'd go over to my friend's house and we'd sit on his back porch because we could see one of the screens from the drive-in from his
Hmm.
back porch, and we'd just like tune the radio in because used to just be on open airwaves.
Right.
You just had to find the right station, and you could just like listen into the movie as you watched it from you know, it was you're not supposed to do that, folks, by the way, but
No, you're
we did.
not. And I'm just tweeting out that I'm simulcasting you from my channel as well.
Oh, I can do that.
Much appreciated. Yeah.
Of
Well,
course. And it
Cool.
builds your views and your hours too.
it won't let me.
It should. I don't know why it wouldn't.
Fucking Roman.
I can't see it from
Oh
your
wait,
end though
wait.
either.
I
So
think I got it now.
Oh, Roman. Roman of the Empire just gave me the best compliment ever. He says, "Whenever I read your tweets, all I hear is your Joker voice." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a lovely thought."
that's actually
Awesome.
true. Yeah. No, I hear your voice when I read your tweets too. There's certain people that yeah you get that you get that kind of like you start to hear their voice in your head. You've got a very distinctive voice, my man.
Why, thank you.
It's
I will
hard to
take that
mistake,
as a
except for
compliment.
yeah, Mark Hamill in his prime.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
I get that. As long as you don't say like anyone like Fran Drescher, then I'm fine with it.
No, and I'm not even talking like Mark Hamill's regular speaking voice, just the voice that he does for villain characters.
Right. Which
know.
he does for all of them.
He does actually. I noticed that the other day. I was rewatching Avatar: The Last
Mhm.
Airbender, the TV show, right? And so when it gets to the point where it introduces Fire Lord Ozai, you don't recognize at first that it's Mark Hamill because he's got like one line in of the whole season.
Right.
But when they finally get to a point where he's got more speaking lines and stuff, you're like, holy shit, that's the Joker and the Hobgoblin.
Yes. Yes. Which hey Nomi.
Hello.
Which I would say, and I'm going to talk to Tyler for another edition of we rank stuff. We're going to do. I want to suggest a show where we do pop culture bad guys, and I will suggest Azula be in that conversation.
Yeah, that would be cool. Zombie,
Hey,
welcome. Hi, Zenny. We got a lot of people coming in.
Yes. Some from my
Aside from the
channel as
aside
well.
from the simulcasting thing, it's always nice to see some some
Exactly.
people who we have seen regularly.
hey,
Hi, Shadow.
everyone, just showing this off again because I gotta show this off. I just got my physical copy of the Mario movie, which apparently is coming out in
Wait.
physical format.
Harry's talking about a tattooed chick. I'm sorry, what? Hold on, tattooed chicks? Please elaborate.
think-
I'm not sure where he's going on with that.
Yeah. A little far fetched.
Wait,
Oh, and we got Twinkerbell now in the chat too.
Well, he usually is.
Yeah.
I know. Hi, Twinker.
Got something for him.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Nomi.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm actually looking at designs for my next tattoo, Joker.
Ooh,
Yeah.
really? So
Now I just need to find a good artist.
So, how many would this be when you get it?
The one that I'm interested in getting, that'd be my fourth.
If you don't remember, you have too many.
I only have three.
That sounds painful. I'm
Well, they don't tickle, dear. It is a needle, either 1 to 5 needles being jammed into your skin at high speed. No,
Ow.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
Right.
depending on the part of your body and
Right.
how thin it is
Yeah.
and how close muscle
Like this
tissue
one
or
here?
bone tissue
So-
is to the surface,
so-
it can hurt a lot
Oh.
more.
Yeah.
So this one here. Now my crow.
Yeah, but that stung.
Well, from here to here, that was fine. From here in, I was hating the fucking world.
Oh yeah, I bet because that's soft tissue.
Well, and it's close to this nerve cluster right here.
Oof.
The one on the back of my neck hurt. The one each one I have on my calves didn't feel a thing.
Yeah. The one I have on my
Hey, Fred, what's
left
up?
hand side, it only hurt when he started getting closer to that underarm side soft tissue. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah. Bone and nerves.
Yeah.
And nerves.
Well, again, it depends on the area. Like Shadow's talking about how painful face tats he's imagining are. Honestly, from what I hear from people who've gotten them, it's really not that bad. But that's
No.
because the nerve endings in your face aren't as sensitive in a lot of other
It's the
places.
skull.
What
Yeah,
about
the top of your head hurts, but
Yeah.
What
like your
about
face,
chest?
not so
Do
much.
people do their chest as well?
Oh yeah,
Of course.
I have
yeah.
one on my chest.
Oh, cat. If
Cat.
there's skin, you can get it tattooed. If it is on your body, you can get it tattooed. People have tattooed their eyeballs, honey.
Wait,
seen-
how do you do that? You can't do the eyeballs.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
yes, you can.
How?
You absolutely can.
It's basically it injects ink into the soft tissue.
Isn't that dangerous for the
Yes.
eyes?
Yes.
Very.
Don't you not want to do that to your vision?
So it doesn't always go wrong, but if they screw up, yes, you can go blind, or it can just destroy the eye.
I believe
entirely.
it's like you have to have some sort of courses, and you have to go through a medical training in order to do that procedure for tattooing on the eyeballs.
Gotcha. Like inside and the top of your eyelids. Fair game.
Yeah, you're just asking for it on that point.
Nose, lips.
Inside of the lips.
Yep. That's
Why?
A big
You know, I've seen people tattoo their tongues.
Why?
You know, their gums.
one. Knuckles. Now,
You know,
these...
my favorites are always the ones that are around real sensitive areas like nipples or buttholes.
I know.
Those goth girls, Samuel.
I know women who've gotten their lips down there tattooed.
Why?
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, not saying like I would go and do it, but like to each their own, because I would never do that, and that sounds painful.
You
as
can't
hell.
even see it.
Oh, yes, you can.
Once you're married, yeah, or
No,
you're just a
You
whole.
need to be married.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know,
Boosh! What's up?
There's people who tattoo their wedding rings on so they don't have to like physically have a ring on all the time. Sometimes it's because of work. Sometimes they're allergic to metal or whatever. But right across the top of that little bone on that finger, that is extremely painful place to tattoo.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So these didn't hurt. It was the touch up. It was the touch up a week later. That was just ridiculous.
Oh, I bet.
Boosh, not a bad time. Welcome.
What is it?
What would you like to know, Kat, about tattoos? And
Please,
I
Kat.
don't want to know anymore. I've already lost. I just no. Yeah, you know, I'm good. I'm good.
What's up, Zombie?
You know, the three of us here on the panel have tattoos. So.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm not.
I am willing to bet that I might have of the most.
I guarantee you do. I've only got two.
Yeah.
Wow, because I'm at like 30, and I've got the itch already.
Yeah, that was a concern of mine because a lot of guys I know who started getting tattoos, they got addicted to the needle.
Oh yeah, they're addicting.
Wait, how? If it hurts, what?
It's a weird feeling.
It's a pleasure pain thing, Kat.
Yeah.
Yes.
There comes a point where the two sensations are nearly indistinguishable.
Yes, and the sound of the tattoo gun, it's just like, oh, here it comes. Yes, bring it.
Like some may even say like getting tattoos is therapeutic for others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Story.
Some people would say that.
Yeah.
Some people would say they're nuts, but yeah.
I think you guys are all nuts.
Which is weird because like I in my field of eyebrow threading.
Kat, people in glass houses, dear. Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not nuts. I'm just saying why?
Look, so let me put it this way. All right, so
What's up,
how
Cody?
your average leftist
Jet Sparks,
right,
what's up?
running around, they look they've got tattoos all over their bodies, but they also have a bunch of other like piercings and
Yes,
like
and
they
I
look
know.
like
That-
cushions that have been
now that is
painted.
something.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Okay.
That used to be counterculture.
Mhm.
That used to be cool. Joker
Yeah, that
and I
I
come
know.
from a time when that was. I mean, you do too, but you
Taboo.
were obviously
No,
not
I
involved in
know,
it,
but at
yeah.
the same time, I mean, I don't know all of it. Like, I didn't know about the hair. I knew that mohawks were cool. Long hair on guys was cool. I didn't know that the half shave look was cool. To me, the half shave
it
look
was. It wasn't just
was.
cool on the right woman. It was hot.
Natalie Dormer. Right.
You know, but since like all of the shit that's blown up in this country in the West in the last I don't know 5, 6, 7 years, right? It stopped being hot. It started being a warning sign. Now it's a fucking turnoff for me. But yeah, like you see all that stuff. Like body modification is not anything new, and in counterculture, especially in the West, because we have no. Like if you look at the Maori, for example, who tattoo their whole life stories onto their skin, there's purpose behind each of those tattoos. They also do it, like he says, the one poke at a time with a hammer and a handheld needle. but those tattoos tell their whole story. They tell the legend of the person who wears them,
Correct.
and there's purpose behind that. Whereas your average dude named Chad who lives down in the Phi Data whatever house, who's got
Has a
tribal
piece of
tattoos on
flash.
his arms and a
Correct.
barbed
A piece of
wire across his
flash.
neck or some shit like that. None of
Yeah.
those mean anything,
No.
Yeah.
So the more that it stopped being having some kind of meaning to it, like at a certain point in our culture, it just became about body modification itself. That's why you got
Correct.
guys who split their tongues to look like lizards, guys who tattoo their
Oh,
eyeballs,
Mhm.
people who
I-
extend their earlobes out to their fucking shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah, but they put those
I-
things in their things in their ears that you know what?
I'm not gonna lie.
Gauges.
I'm not gonna lie. I dated a gal with a split tongue. Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
I bet.
I mean, I ain't saying that there
Wow.
ain't a purpose for like a piercing on the tongue. There's a specific purpose for that. And if anybody says it's anything other than that specific purpose, they are full of shit. But,
Yeah.
it's not something that I would necessarily do to myself.
Well, let's see. I have had an ear, I've had a tongue, and I've had my nipples pierced.
Mm-hmm.
I've only
Mhm.
had my nose
Yeah,
pierced
I believe
and
that
my
your
ears
nipples are
pierced.
pierced. I get this
Well,
image of JV
well,
sitting in the
well,
dark with like Vaseline
well,
on his nipples, just
well, not anymore. That was a bad. It was a
Wouldn't that
bad.
hurt a lot doing your
Well, it didn't hurt initially until some gal I was dating decided to get on top of me and pull.
ow, oh, oh, I don't even
Yeah.
have piercings there, and it hurts.
That
And
hurt me.
and she promptly got mule kicked, and I told her to leave, and she said, "This is my house." I said, "I don't care. Leave." What's up, Gap?
Yep, welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. So the thing about that is like that's part of why I don't have like hundreds of tattoos, aside from the fact that they're ridiculously expensive and time
Yes.
consuming.
They
Yes.
can be. They can be.
Uh,
I because of the town I live in, I happen to know a lot of tattoo artists, and if they're ever free and they can, and actually a lot of them have a room in their place where it's dedicated to doing tattoo work. I can get work done for half the price.
Yep.
Or
Hey,
in
thanks for
some-
stopping by, Boosh. Have a
And
good
there's
day.
some tattoo
Get
artists that
some-
there's some tattoo artists that will just do it for free because they need to build a portfolio.
Right. Those
yeah,
those
yeah,
would
you
be the
apprentices.
interns.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interns. Right.
They so it's even though like, because I know a bunch of tattoo artists myself. I mean, growing up kind of in that lifestyle, I was raised by bikers. I was a goth. Like you just get to know people who are doing these things for a living.
Mhm.
Hell, Maester Child does a little bit of it. It's even if they're willing to not charge you for the labor, you still got to pay for the materials and all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes that gets expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Because you
go
don't
ahead.
want them just working for free either. I mean, if they're doing you a favor, that's one thing, but at the same time, if they're turning your whole body into a canvas, right? It's not fair to not throw something their way. And it is also very, very time consuming, as I mentioned before. Like a full back tattoo can take anywhere from
That's like 5 sessions.
yeah, that's 5 sessions, and you've got to let it heal in between, and that. So you're talking maybe 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because doing a session, if you're doing just the outline, an outline would just be maybe 3 hours, depending how big. Like, well, if you want a full back, 3 hours, easy. And then you have to let 3 weeks or a month, however long you want it to heal, and then go back for the coloring. And once after the coloring's done, you have to go back for the shading.
I've got a back piece that's it's not a full back piece. It's just between my shoulder blades. It's and it's circular. It's about 9 inches across, right?
Yeah.
And I was on that table for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My olive branch tree, or my olive branch tattoo took like 2 hours, 2.5. Yeah, and it was all in one. Because I'm the one and done type of person. Same thing how I did my wisdom teeth. Just take them all out. I don't want to do tops and then bottoms later. Just do it all.
And
Mm-hmm.
and the old saying is they're very true. Good tattoos aren't cheap. Cheap tattoos aren't good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. The very first tattoo I got is on my chest, and it's not very big. And I've had to have it redone professionally since. But when I first got it done, I was
Where
drunk.
at?
My buddy was
Where at?
drunk in a basement apartment with a drunken Mexican who had a homemade needle.
Oh God. And
Wait,
and
you can do
Prison
it home.
tattoo.
Oh
and
yeah,
is it where? And the
it's
where
right. It's not directly over my heart, but it's pretty close to the center breastplate.
oh yeah, the
So,
sternum.
and
Ouch.
get
Ouchie.
this. So I was 17, 18 years old at the time, and I was, very, very thin. So I had no padding there whatsoever. So that hit bone the
Oh,
whole time,
oh.
which hurt. And then also I was drunk, so my blood was thin. And so most of
Mm-hmm.
about half of the ink bled out that night.
And you're bleeding, right?
And, it's scarred, and it wasn't good. I did get it redone professionally in Colorado by a professional tattoo
Oh,
artist years
wow.
later. But yeah, it was pretty rough looking initially because yeah,
Bench.
don't make decisions about your body like that when you're wasted, kids. It's not a good
No,
idea.
Nope.
no.
And that wasn't even like the worst horror story you'll ever hear about that sort of thing. That was just
Right?
it gets much worse. Not for me personally, but there are people out there who've made even dumber decisions while they were on something. And I was just drinking.
Yeah, we can just say that. Yeah.
But yeah, as to your question earlier, Kat, when you depending on where it is, depending on the thickness of the skin or the muscle
Right.
tissue over the
Muscle.
area, depending on whether or not it actually goes through the skin and hits the bone, all these things contribute to exactly how painful and what kind of pain it is.
Right.
Yep.
So like I said, from here in, I'm hating life. This one went up here, nothing.
Not
Shoulders,
so bad. Yeah.
nothing. Calves, nothing.
Yeah, my Hebrew tattoo behind my elbow didn't feel anything at all. And then the one I have on my wrist, yeah, that one hurt like a mother hen.
This one here,
Yeah.
nothing.
It felt
Nothing.
like a bee sting. And the one on my wrist was my first one. It was my what do you call it? Gateway tattoo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurt. It's done like a bee. And then after I was done, it only took the guy 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I went and got Chipotle as nothing happened.
Yeah, it goes that way. Now, when I got my first one done, as I said, it was not professionally done. We didn't know what we were doing. The guy was a halfway decent artist, but he was drunk too. So, obviously the needle wasn't super steady. I paid a drawing for it, so I wasn't complaining. I drew him a picture and gave it to him because he wanted to tattoo something on his neck, and he didn't know how to draw, but he knew how to trace and stuff. So he didn't do it he didn't do it that night. But anyway, so I get that done, and it wasn't in professional circumstances, and it was also back when people were still, now people are a lot more careful about it because, oh my gosh, everything's traumatic, so we can't, somebody gets a tattoo, you got to let them heal, and you don't, mess with it, and you cover it up, and you keep it moisturized. Back then, we just slapped it as hard as we fucking could and said it was the septic ink.
Yeah.
That one, I felt that one.
Yeah, JV knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When your friends are like, "Oh, you got a new tattoo."
Bah!
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you fucker.
No, thank you. Those are no friends of mine.
Zombie Box. Do I have a favorite tattoo? There's a lot. My knuckles, of course, says no joke, and then ha 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 ha. I've got my actual Joker card right there. I've got autographs from two singers that I liked. Alyssa White Gloves from Arch Enemy and Chippy from the.
Wait, how did they autograph your? Did they sign a piece of paper and they traced it, or did they?
No,
actually...
they sign with marker, and then the tattoo artist goes over it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. And I I get a lot of questions about this one because I've been a staunch critic of Marvel, and yet I have a Captain Marvel tattoo on me. The reason this thing exists is right before this film came out, I was in observation 60 hours of Suicide Watch. And this was the first film I saw after that. And the little subplot of get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down, get back up, that resonated with me. So this is a constant reminder of get knocked down, get back up. What's up, Revan?
Yeah, that's a good reason though. I mean, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm thinking of a script tattoo, like words. It'll be right here. Well, you can't see me, but just think of it on my right arm, not a long one, maybe a small little defined script ones. And I'm highly considering of getting the words. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe IDK, maybe IDK on my hand, not on my hand, but like on my arm.
Okay. Now there was the joke because a lot of folks get like Japanese or Chinese symbols
incorrectly. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Like Ariana Grande, she got barbecue, but Japanese barbecue tattooed on her handprint.
Which I laugh because I have a Chinese symbol on the back of my neck. I looked it up and it says invincible, or it could be broccoli beef. I have no idea. But I saw a joke. And it says, what if Asians got the Western tattoos, and there's someone that just says water or fire on their arm.
Yeah.
Tom.
Oh.
Hey. Well, he is currently we're simulcasting from my channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, on occasion. So,
Tom, we're talking about tattoos. You should join the club. We're gonna get barbed wire tattoos later after the stream. All
like
you know what?
fucking hell
You
we
guys
are.
do that as much as you know what? Thankfully, you know what? I'm happy to say that it's against my religion. Thank God I'm a Muslim.
Well,
no,
it's against mine too, but I don't.
It is against mine.
It's not against mine. It's actually kind of part of mine. But so, but yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, and I kind of understand that too. I don't have an issue with that. There's you know, most Christians and Muslims also have prohibitions against marking their body because, you know, temple of God kind of thing. And in fact, if I understand correctly, Jews cannot be buried in a Jewish cemetery if they do anything like pierce or tattoo their bodies because they're considered unworthy at that point. Right. I think there's some kind of prohibition against that. So much so that they actually get ostracized and even in the afterlife over it, which I think is a little extreme, but you know,
no, it's not that extreme for Muslims.
Yeah, but
it's not that extreme in Islam. It's just you're not supposed to do it, but you do something you're not supposed to do. But yeah,
Revan, I dare you to do that.
What?
No. He's like, you should give me a face tattoo of Brie Larson. No.
We should get it. We should get one for Shadow though.
Yeah.
Right? A Twinkerbell.
Yeah, he definitely he could. I mean, why not?
Something tells me Shadow's father and mother will not allow it because he's very Christian.
Well, he's gonna be in the Marines, so
he's gonna. Yeah, if he goes into the Marines, he's getting tattoos.
Oh yeah, that's going to happen.
That's going to happen. And probably if he stirs up enough trouble, right? Because it's enough trouble for his fellows in the Marines. Some of those tattoos he may not get it willingly.
Yep.
Shadow, behave. Shadow, I don't want anything to happen.
Get him drunk. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get him drunk.
They're going to hold him down.
And they're going to tattoo his butthole.
Yeah.
Well, they are going to take him to a shop in whatever port they are in, and pay the guy and just like do it.
Yeah, I mean, odds are he'll probably get a tattoo for his battalion or whatever as well. I mean, that's
Right.
usually pretty common. It's a way to tie them together.
There's
Kind of
a
thing.
air
There are cultural reasons in the military for tattoos as well
Correct.
as just fucking with your buddies.
Yeah, there's an Air Force base not that far from here, and I used to do
Likewise.
eyebrow. I used to do eyebrow threading. There was a group of airmen that came to the mall that I was working at. They saw what I did. They're like, one guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I will legit give you $200 if you can thread our friend's eyebrows off." I'm like, that is the easiest $200 I have ever made in my life. And yeah, because they're all, you know, Air Force guys, military guys, so they do those type of jokes on their buddies.
Yeah.
And the guy even laughed. I was in process of threading the guy's eyebrows off. I was like, oh man, like I actually do feel guilty that this guy's gonna look like a freak after this. But $200, and then he was such a good sport about everything. So I can only imagine Shadow with his Marine buddies getting drunk and then picking him up, taking him to the shop, and like, all right, give him on his chest a stick man riding a Warnall.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Or
I could also see because he's so obsessed with like Roman legions and shit. I could see him getting SPQR on his shoulder
Ew.
too.
right.
Yeah.
Or because he's so homophobic, right above his ass says "Enter here." Or a Tinkerbell.
Yeah, that would. He should get a Tinkerbell on his right butt cheek.
Right.
Oh God, no, Shadow, no.
No. Shadow, steer into the skid, bud. Just
Hey.
steer.
If he wants to discourage the ladies, and
That'll do
and stay pure, that'll do it.
Oh yeah.
They see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit, they're gonna run.
Abstinence is what he does best.
I would love to see. I
Oh,
would.
that- oh, yeah,
I would
I would love
love
to
to
see
see Shadow done up in
No.
full corpse paint.
I would just love to see a goth Tinkerbell again.
I would just love to see it. Yeah, goth Tinkerbell.
No,
Not
not
just goth
not
Tinkerbell.
Shadow Doll, not Shadow Doll. Some goth chick to do with the half shaved head, pulling it over the tat. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a moment there.
It's okay. We'll
I
give that
can't-
to you.
So,
No,
Zombie,
no.
if you went to like meetups and stuff, and you had Jeremy Grigg's face tattooed over your own face, you don't think that would come off as a little weird?
I mean, I can see it be like, yes, nice meeting you.
God, Revan,
security.
Revan. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You the kind of guy to fuck a dude in another ass and not have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Right. Okay.
But
So,
yes.
Okay, so Nomi, just start looking up tattoo shops in the Dallas area around where you're gonna be.
Frank, real quick. Frank, my sister has that tattooed on her ass so she could win bets at bars.
Wow.
Yeah. The words your name, not like
Yes.
She's like, hey, I got your name tattooed on my ass, and people wouldn't believe her, obviously, and then she'd do that and win the money.
Yes,
That's
I
actually
know
genius.
that person. Yes, I know.
I'll look for shops, but Dallas is still a big maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's uncertain, but but I kind of want to look for. I know there's an artist here in El Paso that I've been following, and her artwork is pretty precise, and and she's cheap, not like disgusting cheap, but she's fairly priced for fairly priced for her work.
Yeah, you ever end up out my way? I know a couple of good artists out here too that you'd probably really like their work.
I know a few out here as well. I'm talking for that Dallas the meetup when Shadow is gonna say something that's gonna get him in trouble. So just
Bernie,
you can hold that over his head.
Well, yeah. I think one of the things that, like I said, other than the fact that it's against my religion, but
it's against mine too.
What? Yeah, but I actually don't do things that are against my religion. No, but a friend of mine who look, nothing against her. Okay, she's a friend of mine. I like her. She's cool. But she spent like $1,600 on a tattoo. She's like,
Yeah.
should I buy? She was like, should I buy a PS5 or should I spend $800 on a tattoo? I'm like,
Oh,
PS5.
that's a hard decision.
And
yeah.
then she's like, she comes in a couple weeks later. She did buy the PS5, but she comes in a couple with the tattoo. I'm like, $800 tattoo. She's like, no, twice that. I'm like, wait, why?
Yeah, easy.
Why?
I have a friend who has her left side tattooed, and it was easy. She has easily about 10 grand of work.
I would rather buy a computer.
Well, if you have the money, if you're good at what you do at your job and you have the funds to blow it off on a PS5 or on tattoos, hey, why not do it and then save up for the next one? Not for the tattoo, but for the next thing you want.
If I had $1,600 to spend extra, I'd go for a computer.
Honestly, Kat, it's really about personal preference. There's plenty of people who do not have religious restrictions against tattoos and have no interest in them and have none.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's not about, you know, and like some guys like JV have what is called the itch, which is just like, I've got tattoos, I need to get another one, you know, I need to get more, I need to feel that needle again. That does happen. And then you got guys like me. I have two. Both of them I've had for a long time. I also thought about, well, the first one not so much, but the second one I thought about for 10 years before I had it done. You know, I have a couple of others planned, but I'm not quite ready yet. You know, because for me, if it doesn't have any meaning, it's got no place on my body.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last was this, and that was like 4 years ago. And I'm like,
yeah, the last one I have is my olive branch one, and that was 2019. Yeah, 2019. Ooh, 4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is also for me, there's no point. I mean, I can't show them off. Like I can't go walking around.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, but in your circumstances, yes, you are right.
But,
so it's like, what's the point of like having the? I don't know.
Well, the privacy of your own home.
I was just
friends and family. You can't.
Well, I was just to ask you, Kat. Like, say if you were to get married and your husband allowed you to get tattoos, would you get one?
No, because again, it's against my religion. I don't care what that's one of those things where like then I wouldn't.
Hypothetically,
right?
I would still say, like you said, it's against.
Okay, so a husband would allow it, and because of your religion, no one would ever see it outside of your own home. But if your husband said yes, do it.
No, because it's not about whether anyone can see it outside my home. It's against my religion, period. Even if people can't see it, it's sort of like, okay, so when I'm fasting Ramadan, right, I can in secret eat. No one will know about it, but that's not the point. It's God will know about it. Breaking my fast, even if no one else knows about it, God knows about it. So it's the same thing.
Fair enough. But as far as like
henna, I've used temporary henna. I've actually done henna. They put it on their hands. I've done that a few times. Temporary henna is temporary, so it washes off after 2 weeks. In fact, a lot of Arab weddings do it for the bride gets it on the wedding, and a lot of the women,
as Indian women as well.
Yeah, as just a point of clarification though, nobody ever sees my tattoos either. It's not for them; it's for me.
Right, exactly. Hey, Mrs.
Hi, Mrs. Scotch.
Oh, welcome, she has a tattoo. Yeah. I saw her at Vegas. She
has a nice one too.
Yeah.
On her shoulder. Yeah.
And if I were to get married, I'd get initials.
No.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. Yes. Thank you, JV, for saving me.
That's a bad idea. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
No, the only names that will touch my body are my children's.
Correct.
Okay.
You know, and that is planned down the road. Those ones I'm dead certain on, but it's like I said, it's expensive, you know, and it's like not something that I just have the money to throw at any given time. So kind of thing. There are a couple others I have planned. One on the inside of my right arm will. I love the Latin language. So there's Latin on my back. There will be Latin on the inside of my arm, and it'll say "Memento Mori," which, for those of you who are not aware, I'm sure many of you are. But
no, me.
Thank you. I'm appreciative of my. I'm appreciative of my internet family, my internet friends, to keep me accountable.
Yeah, no
names, no initials, nothing.
Let me put it this way: my ex-wife has her previous husband's name tattooed on his ass, on her ass.
My second ex-wife has a matching tattoo of this one here. That's basically the same thing.
Right. So the Memento Mori comes from an old Shadow should appreciate this Roman tale, where a conquering general came home and they were throwing him a big parade because he was the big hero. He just like slaughtered thousands of Germanians or whatever, and a slave steps out of the crowd and threw a human femur bone down at his feet and said "Memento Mori," which means remember, you too will die. You are only mortal.
Right.
So as a reminder to myself, that's going on the arm in big freaking letters, and then of course on my left ring finger across where a ring would be, I will have the Latin words "Ve Victis."
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like go ahead.
What does that mean?
Suffering to the conquered is a reminder never to put a ring there again.
Nice.
I love it. The IDK script tattoo that I want, it's based off a song from one of my favorite artists, John Bellion. John Bellion, he's a little unknown to himself, but if you hear bangers from Justin Bieber, Jonas Brothers, Selena Gomez, he wrote all of their songs.
No, then I don't care.
So he has the money because these fake artists pay him to write songs for them. Anyway, but he makes good stuff. So one song, it's literally called Maybe IDK. And the chorus goes, "What if I knew tomorrow? I guess I wouldn't need faith. I guess if I never fell, I guess I would never need grace. I guess if I knew his plans, I guess he wouldn't be God. So maybe I don't know." So maybe I don't know. And maybe that's okay.
Okay.
And then,
the missus, you buy it, I'll get it.
Which Spice Girl, though?
Ginger, of course.
Okay. Not Scary Spice?
No, Ginger.
Okay.
Which speaking of tunes, Sam, you'll like this. I had a couple come into my bar on Thursday night, and they were, metalhead rockers, whatever. So I got to actually introduce them to bands like Epica and Nightwish, Arch Enemy, and they were all like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And I'm like, "I know."
Did you ever just slightly off topic here, man? Did you ever get into Unleash the Archers?
I like them. They're from Vancouver. Vancouver. She has got a set of pipes that are ridiculous.
There is a video of her on YouTube. The lead singer's name is Brittany Slays. For those who are not familiar,
well, Hayes, and the
stage name is Slays. Yeah,
Slays, correct.
But she's got a hell of a set of lungs on her. She's a very nice person. Drinks a lot of coffee.
Yes.
And you can tell. But there's a video of her somewhere on YouTube where she is at a karaoke bar, belting out Judas Priest's Painkiller.
Oh yeah,
and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, she is something else. What was it? Now the song that I introduced most folks to for that band is Awakenings. And I'm like, do you like Ronnie James Dio and Iron Maiden? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, you'll like this then.
Yeah, there's a heavy power metal element to them that's pretty cool. That I like quite a bit. I mean, obviously I'm more of a symphonic metal guy, and to a slightly lesser extent Japanese prog metal, which is not for everybody. by the way.
No, it is not. It is not at all. And then I played the Epica Sancta Terra with
With
Simone,
Floor?
and
Yeah.
yes, and their jaws were on the ground.
Yeah, that's usually most people's introduction these days to Epica. It's not the song I would pick. I would pick Unleashed, but that's just me.
I would generally pick Edge of the Blades.
Yeah, that was good too. There are other songs that they do too that are very, very different than the stuff that most people hear.
Correct.
Once Upon a Nightmare is one of the most impressive pieces of music put together, I think, in recent memory. It's stunning, but it's not their usual stuff. It's very like do you guys remember that old cartoon, The Snowman?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
It's about
Nope.
a boy. He builds a snowman. It magically comes to life, and over the course of the night, they
It's called
go on
Frosty.
adventures. It's not
Happy birthday.
quite frosty, but anyway, there's
Yeah.
a song. Nightwish did a cover of the theme song for that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it's so. Anyway, it's kind of got that kind of lilting feel to it, but with a big choral and orchestral punch to it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I would love to play these things for you guys here live on the YouTubes, but you know how the copyright shit goes. So
Yep.
all I can do is recommend them. Go check out Epica. Go check out Nightwish. Unleash the Archers is pretty good.
Frank, which one? Because I've shown you lots of them. Wait, the girl who turned to the metal, that would be Simone Simons. She used to be a pop singer, but transitioned to the metal because it gave her greater freedom as an artist.
Kind of. She had pop training, but she was like 15 when she got together with Epica. She didn't really have any like pop music out there so much as she had
Gotcha.
training for
Okay.
it. But it sort of lent itself to what they were trying to do with like Mark Jansen was who she ended up meeting, and I think she was dating one of the original members at one point too, like a bassist or some shit. They were all very young at the time. She was obviously the youngest, and she's been with them pretty much her entire music career.
Correct.
But she had some training. She went to some of the musical conservatory schools in Europe prior to that. Yeah. So yeah, she's hot too.
I mean, if you ask him, she is the vocalist on the planet. We disagree slightly on that.
Oh, everybody disagrees with me about that, man. It's fine.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's amazing, but I still think that Laura is a better vocalist.
I think that like I said, I think she's more technically proficient. She's more precise, but she doesn't have the same like emotionally evocative quality. And I think that she's less experimental.
Maybe.
I think Simone, like if you track the last several albums that Epica did, they've started doing some like out there stuff,
Right.
and it's and it all good, but like they've been trying new things. They've been doing new things with her vocals. They've been doing new things with the music, the various instruments. Like they've done some wild keyboard work recently.
Right.
For instance. And they're, I think, more experimental. I think Tuomas of Nightwish is a very experimental composer, but I don't think that Floor is a particularly experimental singer. I think she has range and she is able to do multiple things, but she stays within those multiple things rather than branching out.
Well, yeah, and most of what people know
Zenny,
of her.
Thank you. Walking in the Air.
And most of what people know of her is singing songs that were made for Annette and Taria.
Yeah, that's true. All of their most popular songs came from those eras. Frankly, like I liked the last couple out. Let me put it this way.
What was it?
Endless Forms Most Beautiful was a good album, but it was not on the same level as Imaginarium or Dark Passion Play, which they had Annette for. And I really didn't care that much for what was that last one called? It's like Human Being or Being Human or some shit like that, or
I don't
Human
remember.
Nature. Yeah, that's it. It's Human Nature. I didn't really care much for that last album, which was a shock to me because I like most everything Thomas composes. I even have the Life and Times of Scrooge album he did on his own, which is great, by the way. Check it out.
Did you watch the YouTube video? Learn this set in 48 hours.
A few years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I I saw Nightwish about a year before that happened.
Jealous.
You know,
And
I
that
saw
was
him
Annette.
play. Yeah, I saw
That
him
was
play
Annette.
with the Net in Denver. Yeah.
Okay.
This because they were still on the Dark Passion Play tour. When they came back around for the second time around is about when it had, because I think they had recorded Imaginarium, but some of those
Right.
songs weren't out yet. And
Right.
she quit halfway through their North American tour.
I
I understand the circumstances were extreme,
Right.
but
And I think I think she quit like 2 shows in because they were in Salt Lake, and
right, but
Camelot just
they
happened to
had
be in
covered
town.
most
And
of they had covered most of South America at that point. They had just gotten up to the States, and they had a whole bunch of dates toured for here and Canada, and I think one in Mexico City. Um,
right, and
yeah,
then because for like the first 2 shows in like on the U.S. tour, at least in Salt Lake, and the one right after that, they had Alyssa and Elise Rind from Amaranth cover for Annette.
yeah. Elise is great. She just it's kind of almost like throwing somebody who's used to one genre into another. Like what she
Right.
does is more
Very
metalcore,
specific.
and
Right.
it's got its. She's very good at what she does, but yeah, I think she did a great job trying to, you know, hold up to that because she was touring, I
Hey,
think, with
Jacob.
Camelot at the time, wasn't she?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and so they were because Camelot was I think on that tour with them. I saw those guys play once too. They're fucking
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's when they had they had just gotten Tommy, and Tommy was the one who could bring all these Scandinavian singers.
Yeah,
in.
that was right after Roy left, right? Roy Khan.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic male vocalist, by the way. Fantastic. Tommy's really good too, but I think I like Roy better.
And the girls are like, I don't know what you're talking about here.
So
I'm following.
Yeah, we've been going on for about what 20 minutes about European bands that probably nobody who's watching us has ever heard of.
and you all should because the American the music industry sucks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean that's what I keep telling people. They're like, oh well, what kind of bands you like? And I'll start listening. And they're like, I've never heard of these. I was like, that's because they don't play them on the American radio.
Nope.
You know, you get the same 5 bands with the same 5 songs each, and they all sound exactly the same. Now, it's American radio sucks. It does.
Yep.
And if you happen to find a rock station, it's the Metallica, Five Finger Death Punch, and in this moment, that's about it.
Right. Yeah, and like in its moment has its moments.
Right.
Not to put too fine a point on it. I fucking hate Five Finger Death Punch.
They're the most overrated band ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they are. Well, and the fact is, Ivan Moody can sing. He's very good at it, but he can't write. I'm sorry, he can't. When he writes his own songs, they're not good.
No.
You know, when he's singing somebody else's words, he's fine.
Yeah, the best show, the best show I ever saw, which kind of guarantees my entry into rock and roll heaven. I was at a Lollapalooza years ago, and on the same bill I had Rage Against the Machine, I had Tool, and the original lineup of Alice in Chains.
I've seen Tool twice and a Perfect Circle once.
Yeah, but Alice in Chains was something else. I
would have loved to see them when Lane Staley was still alive.
Lane Staley is twacked out of his fucking mind. He has no idea what time zone, planet, alternate reality he is in, but he sings effortless.
Yeah,
most of those rock stars are.
Yeah. And Lane Staley was one of the few uh, I hesitate to say rock star. I mean, yeah, it was like alternative rock. It was
The
borderline
grunge
grunge
scene.
kind of thing. But he's one of the few. Alice in Chains is one of the few bands that I even liked from the '90s. I know a
Correct.
lot of people say that, oh, the '90s was the best for everything. It wasn't for music. The music in the '90s fucking blew ass. It did. I'm sorry.
I mean,
There were a few standouts, but for the most part, like grunge was something that we should probably apologize to the world for. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
but like, and everyone probably liked the two worst bands of those four. So
Nirvana.
and Nirvana and Pearl Jam when
Yeah.
Soundgarden was a way bit better
Yeah.
band, and Alice in Chains was just amazing.
Yeah,
besides, let me
Soundgarden
just
was
ask
dope.
this: do we have more to apologize for in the '90s than they have to apologize in the last in the last 5 or 6 years?
Musically, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
No. We have more to apologize for in the '90s than they have to apologize now.
For music, yes. I mean,
Mhm.
now it's expected to be garbage. Back then, they were supposed to be good.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I
It was
know,
a
but
bait and switch.
no, but no. But the fact that that doesn't excuse that it's garbage. I would say they ruined all media. So
and and I would say as far as music goes, kind of the second wave of the British invasion in the 80s, all the new wave stuff was
Mhm.
just amazing.
Yeah. Dempsey, let me clarify. Music in general, the music you heard on the radio at the time was not great. I admit there are a number of bands that came through the '90s that's maybe that I love to this day. I like Tool's music. Tool came out of the '90s.
Mhm.
Corn,
I like
Deftones, yes.
I liked early Corn. I don't like later Corn. Anything after Follow the Leader fucking blows in my opinion. But so yeah, like Deftones had their moments. I was never really into them, but I liked what I heard.
Hmm.
I don't like Pantera. I'm sorry, I never have. you know,
Pantera is
that's a personal
overrated.
preference thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
it's
they
a
used to be
personal preference.
glammy. They
Yeah,
used to be glammy as fuck.
I'm not concerned with that. I just didn't think they were particularly to my taste. They never have been. I
And
liked some Metallica. I liked Megadeth. I liked, and obviously these are top of the charts guys here. So yeah, no, I get that there are bands and there is music from the '90s that was good. I was generalizing, mostly because what you heard on the radio was, you know, um, either pop
the
country, which
proof
became a thing during that decade, by the way,
or pop
and
punk.
pop punk, or you had the grunge. I fucking hated the grunge scene. I did. I'm one of the people that you'll meet, and a lot of people are going to have a problem with what I'm about to say here, but I'm going to say it anyway. We're better off without Kurt Cobain.
Hmm.
I think we are better off, even musically, without Kurt Cobain. I'm not saying that what happened to him was right. I'm just saying that without him, like if he was still around, for example, would Dave Grohl, right, has been
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
successful with his Foo Fighters band. Would that have happened if he was still in Cobain's shadow?
Oh
No.
no.
And like Static, and then you know, I'd say post his death, it's the only thing that's helped Kurt Cobain, because again, like him or not, he will go down as one of the most influential people in the music history.
Yeah.
Influential, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll give you that. But I mean, you look back at like the guys who were considered most influential, right? Throughout music. I mean, some of them were
Elvis,
awesome.
Lennon,
Some of
Michael
them
Jackson.
were, like it was more their fame than it was their actual talent, though.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jackson was a fucking legend because he was that good. Uh,
Right.
the Beatles were a legend because they were that popular. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
They weren't that good.
Correct.
Pink Floyd, same thing. Very
Correct.
popular, especially with the drug crowd. And some of their music was very well put together. A lot of it was you have to be high to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Same.
and they were very influential. I'm not debating their influence. They were massively influential. Without them, prog metal wouldn't be a thing. And I like prog
Correct.
metal, but I don't really like Pink Floyd.
No.
you know,
No.
so it's like I listen to bands like Porcupine Tree now, or Opeth or Duran Gray out
Oh,
of Japan.
oh,
Um,
oh, Beth, I know them. What do you think about? What do you think about OTEP?
I think
Mm.
that I liked OTEP when I initially heard it, but I was in a much more aggressive place in my
Save
life
Us Tra,
musically.
that album,
Yeah. I don't know if that was the album.
or was it the Ascension?
I think it was Ascension. Yeah.
That was a good album.
So,
Yeah,
um,
I admire her passion. Her politics are way off the rails.
I don't care about that. I mean, take Tool for example. I love
Oh
Tool's
yeah,
music, with the exception of that last album. I think that with the exception of one track, that last album wasn't as good. But that's a personal preference thing. It's not about their talent. But Maynard James Keenan is a fucking asshole, and he has
yeah, he is.
always been a fucking asshole. That doesn't stop me from enjoying his music. I listen to all
Right.
three of his bands.
Mark
Same with
Hamill.
Reznor. Same with Trent Reznor
Oh,
too. He's a complete ass.
Oh yeah, yeah, but that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy some early Nine Inch Nails. Later on,
Correct.
not so much. But again, personal preference thing, and I think that I moved past certain things when the artist did not. So
Who's that? Who's that? Is that who? Who are you gonna go see this week?
yeah,
Next
that's a good question.
weekend.
Let us know. I'm
You know,
interested.
Now, my favorite band, again, is a band like how Samael says, no one knows about. Is this little goth band out of Toronto?
I know him.
Oh yes, you do. Little goth band out of Toronto called the Birthday Massacre. Just a fun little band. I describe them as if Shirley Manson from Garbage, and which a great band, and Marilyn Manson had a musical love child while watching every Tim Burton film and listening to a shit ton of Depeche Mode and The Cure. That is this band.
Yeah, it's dark wave. It's like new wave, but with a nasty razor under
Death
all the pretty
death
shit.
twist to it. Yes,
Yeah.
Uh,
which is weird. Which is weird because I was at my friend's bar and on their jukebox during the day shift hours, they shut down all the hard metal stuff. So I go look on the so I go look on the so I go look on the jukebox, and there's my band, all their songs there. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm playing this, I'm playing this, and I'm like, it's funny your bar doesn't allow metal songs, but they'll allow every song about death on here.
yeah, yeah. So, but real quick, I would like to just to kind of simplify Joker's explanation of the Birthday Massacre. If you haven't heard them, go check them out. All of their albums are on YouTube for free.
Yep.
They're fantastic. They're very very cool people for the most part.
Yes,
I was gonna
I've met them
say,
numerous times.
Sam, if you could send me some suggestions, because I have no idea half of what you guys are saying in Twitter. Give me some.
What type of music do you like, Kat? Or are you just open to anything?
I'm open to anything at this point.
I
I'll
don't
be right back, folks.
I don't think that like Kat and I have talked about this before. We did an episode on kind of music. I don't know. This is late last year, I think.
Yeah, I lost track of time. I can't believe I've been on this for what, almost a year now. Or are you saying?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, you came on in episode 10.
Yeah, I
So,
can't believe it. But the thing is, first off, I grew up in a very. I mean, we didn't really listen to music, and I mean, keep in mind, and then I was a teacher's pet, so yeah, I was basically much. Come on, I was a Star Trek nerd. All right, I just sat
Nothing
around
wrong
reading
with
Star
that.
Trek novels. I read Star Trek novels. I never listened to music.
I think music is integral to Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I read the books.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can send you some suggestions regarding what I was saying about the Birthday Massacre. For those of you who are like thinking 90s, 80s, 90s music, think like Typo Negative meets, I don't know, Tears for Fears
Oh, okay.
kind of thing.
That
It's
actually sounds like a good mashup.
It's like new wave music, but with a goth undercurrent.
All right.
So, Yeah. Yeah, and it's I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. Joker Voice obviously had the lead singer tattoo her name to his arm, so he probably enjoys them more than I do. But
That's cool.
So what was it was last year that all my favorite emo bands growing up in high school reunited, and we're at this little event called a Joker might know about it because it was in Las Vegas. Uh, while we were young fest, and never have I ever wanted to go to a festival so much in my life, because even in my younger years when festival I went to a couple of Warped Tours, but I quickly discovered I don't like big crowds like this.
Mhm.
Just because people can do the mosh pits and they get a little crazy, they get out of hand, which is okay. They're expressing their love for the music. But me, if you're not paying attention, you'll get whacked in the face with a fist. But never have I ever was like, no 30-year-old is gonna be there doing a dance and just kicking like what he used to do in high school days. So I just wanted to go. It was like, well, All American Rejects, Amberlin. Who I can't remember the lineup last year, but it was probably a good thing because I know there was like what 100 and or like 50 miles per hour winds during the festival. So it was a good investment that I didn't go. But
Yeah.
those are the bands I grew up listening to, was just like the emo scene kid music.
Right.
Seosin, Emery, Panic at the Disco.
I came up in I was very much into different things when I was young. When I was young, I would listen to things like I was a big fan of TLC, for example.
Oh, okay.
Right, which is a bit of a left turn from what we were been talking about here, but
I was just to say I didn't expect that from you.
I liked TLC. I still love Weird Al Yankovic. I don't care who says anything.
Oh yeah,
about that guy.
I love Weird Al.
That guy was awesome.
I still love the Spice Girls. So
yeah, well, Weird Al is a very accomplished musician. Yes, he does mostly parodies, but he can play almost anything on almost any instrument and make it work. There's a lot of talent in that man. But I liked some early rap. I mean, like back when it was still hip hop before, like NWA got involved and all that stuff.
right.
Like the Fat Boys, the Beastie Boys.
Oh, the Beastie Boys, so good.
Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Before all of the things that happened with that.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So like my musical taste has changed quite a bit over the years. So to answer, actually, Dempsey asked a question about Faith No More. I never really listened to them much. They were mostly of an era where I was listening to other genres, so I never really got into them.
I mean, they have the one big hit, which was Epic, and other than that, they're relatively obscure.
I know there's a lot of people who swear by him, and they've got a very devoted fan base. I was just never part of it,
right?
And I'm not that familiar with a lot of their stuff aside from like Epic, which was on the radio a lot. So I don't really have a lot good or bad to say about them because I don't really know that much about them. I never really listened to them. So, but yeah, I listened to a lot of different shit growing up, and I mean, I still, to this day, I'm not gonna lie, I still have a crush on T-Boz from TLC.
Right.
To this day, that she is, I don't care that she's only like 10, 15 years older than me anyway, but she's still a damn good looking woman, in my opinion. So,
I did have a thing for Left Eye because she's crazy, and
everybody had a thing for Left Eye. That was a tragedy and a half.
Well, and because Samuel and I have a thing for crazy too. So,
it's not so much that I have a thing for crazy, but the crazy has a thing for me.
Sure.
It's just not something that I do on purpose. But
of course not. Of course not. But there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, let me put it this way. When I was a kid, I grew up with Cat Stevens. Only he was known as Yusuf Islam, and he had kids music.
Yeah. Well, Cat Stevens came up like before he was Yusuf Islam, he was
I
in
met
that
him.
like Mamas and the Papas kind of era,
Mhm.
and he was pretty good when
I met
as
him.
yeah. How was that?
Yeah, at a Muslim. I don't remember. I just remember that he was at a Muslim convention that we went to. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I was
There.
very young. It was a very long time ago. I didn't know at the time that he was. I knew he'd converted, but I didn't know he was like important in that sense. Like where it's like, yeah, I knew him as Yusuf Islam first.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, I did not know he used to be a famous singer before he became a Muslim.
Oh yeah.
I thought he started making Muslim music for Muslims.
Well, he
Yes, sir.
famously converted to
Yeah, but
Islam. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a big deal to fans of the hippie music scene.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, "What?
Ooh,
What's he doing?
Dempsey.
He got all religious."
he got all different religions.
Dempsey and Vogue. Hello.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. That's a good call. And Vogue was pretty badass.
Oh yeah, and they could harmonize like
Mhm.
there was no tomorrow.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of harmony, because this was towards the middle-ish of the beginning of like the hardcore gangster rap era, so they didn't really do like that, but they had those kind of themes running through them. What did you think of Bone Thugs and Harmony?
I didn't.
Okay, I was just curious. Because they like the in harmony part. That's not a euphemism. They're actually very good at
Right.
that.
I generally don't like, as a general, I don't like rap. I've never liked it. I think it's the lowest form of the music that there is, but that's just me.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I'm not a rap guy myself. I haven't, it's not like I liked hip hop way back before it got big. There
Now
are a
the Beastie
few.
Boys is the exception because they used to be
That's hip hop.
right, and well, they used to be a underground punk band too.
Yeah. But there are certain exceptions that I'll make an exception for. Like I like Busta Rhymes. I like the way that he puts words together. I like the fact that he can move his words out of his mouth faster than almost anybody on the planet. I just think that's entrancing.
Right.
He does auctions too.
Really?
Yeah, he's an auctioneer, which is
Wow.
insane because he's so fast when he speaks.
There were some times that I liked Eminem just the way that he could change his cadence at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dempsey, good point. And I did think about them, but I did not actually say them. Boys to Men, very, very. They brought harmonizing back because at that point we'd been listening to stuff from the 70s and the 80s, and it was like, there was some harmonizing and all that stuff, but it wasn't on the level of like early 50s and 60s Motown. And I think Boys to Men really brought that kind of back. Those guys, the Fugees. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Lawrence.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome to the party.
Hello.
I heard somebody say that rap is the lowest form of music, yet many bands of different genres copied them.
I get it, but still, it's the lowest form of music.
Because I'm like, okay, so it's lowest form, but you named the Beastie Boys and you named Eminem.
Okay.
Do you see the pattern?
No.
You don't see the pattern.
I know where he's going with this. Jesus.
I
you don't see the pattern.
I do too. I see the pattern, but that's irrelevant.
How is that irrelevant?
Talent is talent. It doesn't matter about. It doesn't matter about skin color. Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
I didn't go there. You did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, you did.
I expressed talent.
Yes. So you're saying that they're the only two that have talent in the hip hop genre? They're the only two.
From my person.
So the Beastie Boys and Eminem can out rap KRS-One.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, because he didn't sell out to the mainstream. But you ask any well-known rapper, you can look it up, and his name will be one of the top on their list.
Right, and that's fine.
Also,
so what's your point?
Also, Busta Rhymes is fast, Sam, but Twista holds the world record. He is the fastest rapper ever.
Again, I don't know who that is.
I know.
Static.
And you got to keep in mind, Larry, that my experience with rap pretty much ended in 2001. So, like, Busta Rhymes is fresh in my memory. So, yeah.
Everybody. I want to go back to this Joker. Do you not see the pattern?
I see what you're trying to insinuate, and I'm not going to let you know.
What am I insinuating?
That I'm a racist because the Beastie Boys are all white Jews from the Bronx, and Eminem is white. So no, I appreciated their talent. The color of their skin is irrelevant. So I am actually rather offended that you are even insinuating that, because you and I have been on panels numerous times. You know that is not true. So
I don't.
So
I
so
let him cook.
So drop it.
Okay, so I will retort.
No, drop it.
Country.
I'm not going to.
No, I'm not going to retort it because I haven't gotten to the point of what I was saying.
Oh, jeez.
That was not what I was going to say at all. What I was going to say is that I know the Beastie Boys did not start out as a hip hop group. Eminem grew up around 2 streets over from where I was born. The Beastie Boys were in the Bronx. You appreciate their talent because the area and the people they were around and the culture around it, regardless of race. What you thought I was saying was not what I was saying at all.
No.
But I wanted to give you the respect of letting you speak your piece in case someone else thought that's what you were saying.
Okay.
That's why I came on.
Okay. I apologize then, sir.
Oh, no, you don't have to apologize. At all. It's okay. Because there was nothing wrong with the way that you said what you said. I didn't take any offense to it at all.
Well, thank you, sir.
Cool. Well, high fives all around, guys.
Well, specific areas will appreciate it because you have East Coast rappers of a certain style and you have West Coast rappers of a certain style. And if you ask them both what they think about each other's, they'll say each other's style is trash, which is why a lot of them were fighting in the 90s. That's why Suge Knight got up at the Source Awards and picked a fight with P. Diddy, because they were in New York and the New Yorkers were telling Snoop Dogg and the rest of the West Coast rappers that their rap was trash while they were on stage singing, which caused Snoop Dogg to flip out and go off on them on the microphone. So race has nothing to do with it.
Well, good. Do we agree then?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
All I know about Eminem is Feminem from Rings of Power. So you guys talk about Eminem, I'm like thinking, Feminem.
There's a woman character.
That dude that played Galadriel?
No. Hold up. There's an actress who plays one of the evil elves in the Rings of Power who looks a lot like Eminem with tits.
Yeah, so it's called Feminem.
Oh,
Joker, I need to see it. You got a photo of that? I need to see that.
I know who you're talking about.
Do it, the Nas gals?
Yeah, Feminem. You know who I would love to meet in person? Writing Raven, because I think the two.
Oh, she's a delight. She's so sweet.
Because we and her, we often talk on Twitter, and it's like, if I ever met her in person, I think the two of us would be friends because we just seem to get along a lot, and I think she sounds awesome.
Yeah,
so, I would love to meet her in person.
Yeah, she's a real one.
You know who else is great to meet in person? Horror Amarada.
Oh, she's amazing. I love her a lot. I met her in Vegas, and yeah, she is such a fun person to talk to. So much knowledge.
Hey, so do you have like an actual name for that character or actress? Because when I brought up Feminem, there's a bunch of AI shit with Eminem done up like a girl.
Just look under the Rings of Power ring wraiths. because they become Nazgul, and I'm like, those haven't not existed yet, but here they are.
Wow. No, this brings up like actual Lord of the Rings stuff.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can find something here.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh my God, they are getting desperate. So it used to be we had ads running on TVs for just one brand of TV for Rings of Power, and then they stopped them, and now they're back again, and another brand is also running ads for Rings of Power. It's like, dear God, you guys are getting really desperate. The show sucked.
Well, I mean, they're as of right now, they're on the hook for 5 seasons. They could probably bow out after 3, but they're going to have to really do some serious rebooting.
Nah, the thing is, are they actually going to get anybody back? Because I know
probably not.
I'm out. I'm completely. I could not finish it. The level of just stupid. Putting aside the lore breaking, the stupid tower that they collapsed instead of collapsing the goddamn bridge. That was just dumb beyond words. The only thing I had fun with was Shad's videos.
Yeah, that was great. That's a long link in the private chat, but that's a image.
Okay, so
you haven't found it yet, Sam?
No, JV did.
Oh, good.
Image.
I mean, it can't be that ugly.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
It's not great.
Nope.
All right. Let's see.
Come on, it's Rings of Power. You know automatically, even without seeing it, that it's gotta be ridiculous.
What the hell is that?
That is Hollywood at its best.
Yeah.
That is 1 million. That's a
on my freaking Kool-Aid.
That is $1 billion each episode worth quality.
Yes.
That is the ugliest thing. I've never seen a person look like a demon without actually having demonic makeup on.
Yeah.
And that does look like Eminem.
Yeah, that's why they call it feminine, because it's a woman with boobs that were crushed.
Doesn't look like it.
Wait, that was like one of the first images that came out of that character, and everybody assumed that was going to be Sauron. And as it turns out, later images showed that Sauron there had a significantly sized rack.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
They made Sauron female.
No, because it turns out that's not Sauron.
No.
Sauron's the handsome dude who's hanging out with Galadriel the whole time.
Yeah,
correct.
Really slept with her.
Yeah, he's got long black hair, right?
And everyone.
No. That was a Adar. No.
Okay.
The really handsome guy, the like shorter, long hair.
Yeah.
He is the guy who he is the guy who does all the metallurgy. He is the one who pulls her out of the ocean. The one who she basically wants to bang.
She gives him
time.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Was that in the books?
No.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
None of it was.
Nothing about the Rings of Power is in the books. All they had the rights to were a specific set number of the appendices. And not even all of the appendices, and so they really only had the rights to certain names. Most of what they did in that series was 100% made up by them.
Yep.
Which shows you how bad of an imagination these idiots have.
And for the very limited amount of source material that they had.
Yeah, you want to throw a couple of bucks his way, JV?
No, I don't. For the limited source material that they had, they paid $250 million.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
The level of dumb that they went through is like, my God, how
it's like they went. It's like they went the way of Target.
No, try Wish. Wish.com. That's
no, but I think I know what you mean. You're saying they were so it's like they went the way of Bud Light because they kept keep doubling and tripling and being dumb.
Yeah, and Target's right behind them.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That's crazy. I'm glad I didn't watch that show. Something told me not to.
I told you not to.
Smart man, you are smart. Do not. I regret what I watched.
Because I think I remember you were just like, well, yeah, it seems like something that might be interesting. And I was like, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. And then you didn't. And now you're grateful. And so you're welcome.
The thing is, it's also...
Which Amazon's numbers showed that like 35% of the folks who started watching that show actually finished it. And I'm like, oh, that's all of us who were doing content.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Telling people how horrible it is. Hey, we took the bullets so that you didn't have to.
No,
the thing is, I stay on brand. I watch things so folks don't have to.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it isn't even just that it's lore breaking. I was just saying it is so dumb. Like they had this tower on a hill, and a fort that they could have hid in instead, and then there was a bridge leading to it, and they could have destroyed the bridge and hidden in the fort. Instead, they destroyed the fort and went to a town out in the open. It's just the level of stupid and dumb is just phenomenal. Like just moronically stupid. These stupid killed it for me. It wasn't just the lore. It's just dumb. And Galadriel was annoying as hell.
Galadriel?
Yes, Galadriel, and just... So I never even got to see Feminem in any of it. All I knew is just people were talking about Feminem. I never saw what Feminem did.
I mean, from what I understand, not a lot besides glower at the camera.
Right. Now, and yes, she had a nice rack, and so did Isildur's sister, who had no purpose at all for the story whatsoever, except she had a very nice rack.
And also,
girl power
doesn't exist in the appendices. Just saying.
No. Girl power, of course.
That's why. He had a sister. That's why he had a sister. Was because obviously he couldn't be. Isildur rises to greatness.
Right.
But
he falls from it too.
Yes.
But he rises to greatness, and they can't have that.
It was his sister who helped him rise to greatness.
Which is kind of just like, even though it's not from Marvel Studios, the Spider-Verse film that I saw today, like we said at the top of the show, this is more about Spider-Gwen than it is Miles, even in his own film.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't care that much about Miles either, so I probably wouldn't have gone to see this anyway.
I'm going to go see it on Tuesday with my friend.
Enjoy yourself.
I have no expectations for it. The reason why we're going on Tuesday because it's like $3.
Right.
Yeah. So like, all right, yeah, I'll go when it's $3 because it's like it's a family-owned theater. So Tuesdays is like family night. So like, all right, cool. I will sneak in the alcohol. Oh, go ahead, Larry.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of Nomitron's top 10 tips.
Yes.
Yep.
Get drunk before you watch a horrible movie?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, yes, that's actually one of my things too, is go to happy hour before you go to movies.
Yes.
Speaking of Nomitron, you have to bounce.
I do. Nomitron does need to mosey out of here because it is dinner time. That's why, Kat.
That's a good reason.
I've been doing my best to do intermittent fasting, and I've been doing good. But once that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hour hits, I am not a pleasant person. And so I need to go.
Yeah, she turns into Darth Nomi. So this
cool. Then no, you can't go eat. I want to see Darth Nomi.
No, you don't.
I'm telling you, Kat, you do not. I am begging you. You do not want to see Darth Nomi.
All right.
You know how
cool.
I will leave after this statement. You know how you can choke people with the Force? Like,
yes, I want to see you do that.
Yeah, no, you don't, because It won't be a pretty picture. But anyway, it was nice chatting with you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and then I will see you all
Where
on
can
the
the good
side.
people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Know Me Without You, and on my YouTube channel at Know Me Without You. And this Monday, I will actually be dropping my cruise video because I finished it. I've already finished it. Yeah. So you'll see me falling down on a beach and eating dirt.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
No, okay. What's up? That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Well, real quick before you go, are there any announcements that you want to make?
Yes. I will be the new host. Well, I will be hosting with two lovely gentlemen on this panel every Friday night. I am one of the new hosts for Abyssal Musings.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah. So you'll be seeing more content, more questions, and more stuff to deliver on the show that we can make it engaging and entertaining for everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, Lawrence needs help because he just ever since I took over, the ratings, the ratings spiked, and he's just been sidelined. He's been trying to recoup ever since.
I figured as much, but I figure, I think what this show was.
You better take that crap back.
The show is lacking some femme touch and femme insight in it, so I am filling in. Yeah, some estrogen, but yeah, I'm bringing the boobs so I can bring in the views.
Hey,
I mean, I love you, JV, but you don't got that.
Yeah, don't be a feminem. Don't slap them big titties on. So
it doesn't apply. According to my ex-wife, I do have boobs. In fact, she handed me her bra one day and said, "Here, you need this more than I do."
Oh, damn. Ouch!
So that was back in the day, though, when I was in worse shape.
All right. Well, on that note, Nomi, thank you for, as always, being part of the panel here on Screaming to the Void. And yes, she is joining as a permanent member of the co-hosting staff on Abyssal Musings on Friday nights, same channel. Yeah, great to have you as always. And we'll look forward to your video on Monday.
Yes, glad to be part of this team. Oh, JV, I caught that with my hand and put it on my cheek. If only you saw it on my camera. But anyway, yes, y'all have my left hand facial cheek.
Oh, bummer. That's no fun.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, y'all have a good weekend.
Bye.
So, hey, JV, for you guys, for you, Kat, and some of you in the chat that may not have seen last night's stream, just for you guys know, that cruise that Nomi was on, I came across a news report. That same ship was hit by the storm that she just missed, and it flooded out and almost sank.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Wait,
much appreciated.
Hey, Lou.
Thank you.
UA, which one is it that you want me to show? Where is it in the Discord? Which Discord? General?
Oh, dear. I'll be right back again. I have to pee. Beer, it happens.
Yeah, well, when you get older, small bladder issues, that kind of thing.
Go fuck yourself.
You got to tickle that prostate.
Oh, my
sometimes.
truck. Oh, God, I want that truck.
Says on the meme channel. Again, Luke Castley, thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. For those of you who don't know Luke Castley's channel, you should and are interested at all in learning Spanish or advice for a good home life, I would say Luke Castley is the place to go. She's fantastic. She was on our channel last week and said some very unsavory things about my friend Ryan that were hilarious and hysterical, especially coming from her. So go check that out too, because it was fun. If you wouldn't eat a T-Rex, don't eat a chicken. But I would eat a T-Rex. So
I would eat a T-Rex too.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hungry enough. I think that's the one. I think that's the one he means. That's the last one he shared.
Yeah, I absolutely would eat a T-Rex. I mean, I'll eat apex predator. I had alligator like 2 days ago.
How was it? Was it tough like gum? or like
No, it was a little overcooked. You got to cook. You got to treat it like poultry when you cook it, and I think it was a little overcooked, a little rubbery.
I love this
Being
one.
dead inside and sick of life, but at least there are cats. I see cats don't do it for me, so yeah. I don't. I guess I'm immune to that little parasite that makes people love cats. You know,
I think
thing,
PETA shared that too. That's the thing. I think that was shared by PETA.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's shared by PETA.
Yeah, it was shared by PETA.
Ordering that chicken sandwich, T-Rex wouldn't approve of you eating their descendants. Yeah, that was shared by PETA.
Yeah. T-Rex would eat me. I'd absolutely eat a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And for the record, chickens will eat you too. I mean, not all at once, obviously, but he's got those little mouths.
I wonder how long it would take a chicken to eat a whole person.
One chicken?
Yeah, like let's say that the body doesn't like decompose all the way; it stays just right for the chicken. I wonder how long it would take that chicken to eat an entire person.
That's a lot of meat for a bird that size. So, I mean, assuming that it's okay with the thing rotting as it goes,
I just
maybe
said
a year and a half.
Yeah, he said
the right conditions.
Yeah, maybe a year and a half, just because it's a lot of meat.
I say 3 years.
I'm gonna say a lot less.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, every day those things are constantly eating.
Yeah, they are constantly eating, but they don't have like huge stomachs and and all that. So like they pick at things. They pick at and pick and pick. I don't know that they would necessarily. What size of human are we talking about?
Yeah, that's the other thing to keep in mind. Like, for example, me, I'm a kind of small human, so it would take a lot less to eat me than.
Yeah, whereas somebody like
with you by the end of the day, if they
like
constantly eat.
Take somebody like Terry Crews' size.
I got more muscle. I got more muscle than I got muscle on my arms.
I guess the question is how long would it take them to eat Shaq?
Oh Lord, they would need help.
Well, which Shaq? That's the other thing, because I saw a picture of him on a printer commercial thing, and I'm like, damn, what happened to him?
Well, I mean, he got old
and fat.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you get old. To a lot of people, actually, all that muscle that he's had built up over the years, right? If you don't work out and maintain that, it migrates south.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it definitely migrated south.
But he's still what 7?
7. Yeah. He's 7'3".
7'3". Yeah, he's still a big man. But yeah, if you don't work out and maintain, and he retired from the sports and started getting into more commentary section, so he was more of a sedentary kind of job. So yeah, I imagine that a lot of that muscle.
Who's this, Shaq?
Yeah,
Lou, it would take.
Shaq is 7'1".
Is he? I think it was 7'3".
Oh, absolutely, Lou.
It would still take him and Andre the Giant, in Clue's case. It would take one chicken. It'd take years, I think, to do it.
Well, yeah,
I wouldn't say years.
Just to give some size of, just to give some scope on how big Andre the Giant was. His casket was the size of a grand piano.
Cool. Then yes, I am absolutely. But you know what? I'm a very active person. The idea, I knew a friend of our family who could barely move because she was so large. So you know what? I don't want to be like that. You're talking to someone who likes to bike to work, run around from one side of the store to the other and back again and back and forth. So the idea of being fat, yes, I will admit it. I am fat phobic. I don't want to be fat. I don't care about anybody else. I'm not scared of anybody who's fat. Unless you get close enough to sit on me, then I'm going to be a little worried. But no, you want to be fat, Nate.
Now, do you think that it might have something to do with the amount of liquid crack cocaine you drink?
Yeah, it's not pure crack cocaine. It's also got a bunch of drain cleaner in there.
Right.
Yeah, but it keeps me physically fit and moving, and
I like it. It eats your insides.
Cool.
I thought those wires you were holding up with one arm earlier was keeping you in shape.
Those girl, just wait until the stomach ulcers hit.
I hope Buster falls asleep. Wait, what happened to that question you were going to ask us, Samuel?
I got nothing. I got tied up in this whole like how long would it take a single chicken to eat Andre the Giant if conditions were ideal, and I'm still trying to work on that.
Yeah,
I'm hoping Buster will fall asleep on my face and strangle me.
It's an interesting intellectual question.
How long will the chicken take to eat?
Well, because they peck a little bit at a time.
All right, how about this?
So,
all right, well, how about this? All right.
I know this from experience because I've got 30 of them in my the backyard.
Fair enough. How long would it take them to eat Andre the Giant then?
All right.
All of them? They kind of nibble until they're full, and then they come back, and then they're full, and they go out and we'll walk around. They poop, and then they'll come back. I'd say within a couple days.
Okay, now if you take that that as a given, then how long would it take a single one if like conditions were ideal, like they didn't have to worry about other scavengers or predators, they didn't have to worry about rotting or anything? Seriously?
Maybe 2 weeks.
That's a lot faster than I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, here you go. If you're buying a 50-pound bag of feed, it would feed your chicken for about 33 weeks. So less than a year. It takes them less than a year to eat a 50-pound bag. So let's go with.
So are we just talking like fat and muscle tissue? Or are we also talking about the organs and the bones and what have you, the ligaments?
No, yeah,
they won't be able to eat the bones. They definitely won't be able to eat the bones.
Well, because they generally don't, because chickens generally, from my experience, throwing out the scraps or whatever, they tend to stay away from the fat, like on a steak or something. They will generally not eat that, but they'll eat the meat, and then they will pick at the meat all day long.
So I'd say it would take about 6 months to eat me, maybe a year to a year and a half to eat.
So considering that bone is a big part of your mass, and plus your body is the mostly water. So
yeah, I would even less, maybe 4 months to eat me and a year to eat Shaq.
Oh, interesting. This actually brings me to a topic. So I was having a conversation with my mother the other day on the phone, and she was mentioning that there's a radio show that she likes to listen to, and at one point they had a topic that she couldn't stomach because it's clearly a guy topic, but and I've talked to Kat about this a little bit backstage already. She's already got her answer. If you were to be killed by a wild animal, what wild animal would it be and how?
I don't traverse anywhere near wild animals.
It's a hypothetical.
Well, since I tend to stay landlocked, so it would be something more like a pack animal, like a wolf or maybe a bear.
Python.
No. Oh, hell no.
No. No, thank you.
Yeah. I would say for me, it would have to be like a leopard or something, because they'll attack from behind. It'll be quick. I won't see it coming.
From up top. They attack from up. They'll hide in trees.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm pretty landlocked too, so most likely to be Luke Cassidy says great whitehead first. I'm a big fan of the movie Jaws. It's my favorite movie of all time, and I have always kind of thought that I might go out like Quint, but at the same time, because I don't spend any time on the ocean, for example, or even in the Mississippi with the bull sharks.
Fuck that.
I will most likely it'll most likely be a bear or a moose, but probably a bear.
Don't mess with moose.
If I get killed by a moose, it's not because I was messing with it. It's because moose are dicks.
Right. And generally, whenever a moose is nearby, there's probably not too far away is a wolverine too.
Yeah, actually, funny story about that. So you know how Wolverines aren't supposed to be, for the most part, in the United States below a certain latitude in, like, say, Montana and Wisconsin
Correct.
and such? Yeah,
Correct.
that's
Yeah.
bullshit. They are, in fact, much further south. They're rare and they're savvy, and they don't. I've fucking seen them though.
And they're nasty.
You know, I saw one go all fucking Cape Fear on a dude's van.
Yeah, they are just chronically pissed off.
Yeah, and by Cape Fear, I mean the guy hit the thing, and it didn't roll underneath the van. It held on until the dude stopped, and it was understandably upset at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And this was in sort of south central Wyoming, right? Where there aren't supposed to be anything like that because it's basically a dust bowl.
Right.
Right. So if they tell you that these things aren't out there, that like, oh, they're not officially, like the Wildlife Administration says that they're not out there, they are lying. Because they do come that far south. Terrifying animals. Not very big, all things considered. About the size of a medium-sized dog, honestly.
But a bandsaw with legs. But a bandsaw with legs.
Pretty much. But yeah, that probably a bear. I always told myself if I ever got when I was younger anyway, if I ever got a terminal disease that was incurable, rather than wasting away, I was going to go pick a fight with a grizzly or a Kodiak.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Because I look at it this way: either I will go out fighting like a man, or on the very, very low chance that I win that fight.
Very low.
That's a hell of a story to tell, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that would definitely be.
And I'm not saying I should go fight him with my fists or anything. It's not like I'd be unarmed, but yeah,
I like that.
So, hey, Gap After Dark, thank you for hanging out.
What's up, Gap?
Yeah. Well, I already said I was gonna have my cat die on my head and suffocate me.
All right.
And since cats are technically not domesticated animals,
so your cat is going to kill you after he's dead.
She's dead. Yes,
she's dead.
How dare you get her pronouns wrong? You misgendered her.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do that.
And odds are she doesn't either.
No.
No, she probably doesn't.
So, but yeah, so you're saying that you're going to be taken out by your cat's corpse?
Yes.
Wow.
Because why the hell not?
The only time I've been actually outside in nature and felt any fear whatsoever, I was in Cancun. I'm getting a tour of the Club Med out there, and they've got this ocean-fed lagoon where there's people water skiing in there. Corner of my left eye, I see something in the water move, and I look over there, and about 3 feet wide and about 7 feet long is a saltwater crocodile.
Oh, cool.
No, that's a dinosaur.
And yeah, dinosaurs are cool.
Well, I'm looking on my little pamphlet that tells me all the stuff that's available to me, and I tell my tour guide, I'm like, you know what? I don't see death roll listed here. And he said, well, she's more afraid of you than you are of her. And I'm like, no. And then he says, well, we keep her and the babies fed. And I'm like, it's a mom. So pretty much the only reptile with maternal instincts. No, thank you.
Well, turtles have them too, but yeah.
Nope.
So you wouldn't necessarily enjoy going to reptile gardens, for example, then?
No.
City.
No.
Because all that's separating you between the second largest saltwater crocodile in captivity on planet fucking Earth is a chain link fence.
Nope. Because
his head is as long as your body, by the way.
Oh, sweet.
Because if that dinosaur wants to get to someone, there's nothing to stop it.
Oh yeah, no, I know. And does it help at all that his name is Maniac?
No.
No, that makes it even cooler. What you talking about?
No, Cat, you are odd. You are so odd.
You know, the largest in captivity is in Australia. I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, he's something like 22 feet.
Fuck that.
Something like that. Yeah, Maniac's like 19, 20 feet.
Yeah, no. Nope.
Yep. Big boy. Big boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not wrong about the Mississippi River, like 150 miles up from the Gulf. The bull sharks haven't been spotted.
Whoa, cool.
No, that is not cool, Cat.
You know what though? Because it bothers you so much, you kind of give off that aura that, like, you know, apex predators can smell. I imagine. So if I ever get into a situation out in the wild where I'm gonna like a tank or bait, I'm gonna make sure that you're there with me, because
I won't be there. Nope, not gonna happen.
Because you're gonna draw all the aggro.
Yeah.
To put it in RPG terms, you could be my tank.
Nope. Not gonna happen. I will trip your ass.
Oh, I have a T-shirt.
I bet I can run faster, scared than you can scared.
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
I have a T-shirt that says, "I will throw you in front of zombies to save my cat."
All right, Jess Marks. Take care, man.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Zenny, you are definitely strange.
What do you mean?
Who wants to cuddle bull, great whites, tigers, mate? Why?
I don't want to cuddle them, but they're cool.
Makos, really?
No, that's a torpedo with eyes.
Right.
Cool.
No, she lists 3 of the man-eaters.
Right.
But Makos are not considered the man-eaters.
No, they're not.
I mean, they will, like any shark will, but it's not like a thing with the species.
Right.
Like it is with bull sharks, for example, or notorious man-eaters, tigers, hammerheads, and great whites.
Right.
Speaking of hammerheads.
Ooh, Chen Li, flamethrowers against zombies. Yes, totally with you on that. Do it.
I could see that.
Speaking of hammerheads, Anya Taylor-Joy is ridiculously hot.
Oh, well, I was thinking more of Halle Bailey.
That too.
You know, and people will come at me for that joke, but the woman's got eyes that are 9 miles apart. I'm sorry.
What?
Halle Bailey, the new Little Mermaid. She's got eyes that are like too far apart on her head,
and she's stacked.
Yeah, but that you know, like that doesn't relate to the hammerhead joke.
Well, true, it doesn't, but
because you know sharks don't have air bladders. That's why they have to swim.
Her
constantly.
eyes look like they can look at. They're looking at 2 different time zones simultaneously.
All right, Frank.
What happened to that?
Yeah, thank you, Frank,
poor
for
woman.
hanging out. Appreciate it.
She gets
coworker of mine.
What's this about? What's that? That's from earlier.
Yes. Yeah, Kat just hasn't removed it. So.
Oh right, yeah.
The Brittany NT. Wow.
Be careful, Kat. Don't trip a wire.
Wow. I mean, kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
She has wide set eyes too, actually. Not quite as wide, I think, as Halle Bailey's, but
no.
Wait, Bridget, that name sounds familiar. My brain is freezing on who that is.
She's a friend of Chrissy Mayer. She was the one who.
Oh yeah, that's that woman. The whole thing with Twitter
and Eliza Blue and all that stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's an all right looking woman. You know, I'm not a fan personally, but you know, just what it is. She's got her fans. I'm not one of them. That's fine.
Yep.
I'm not one of them either.
I like some of the people that she's online with regularly. It's probably the only reason I know who she is. That undead chronic thing from like Jack Murphy.
Yeah, there's
Rick Hader and all of that.
Right. Yeah. Chrissy, Anna, Melanie.
Yeah.
Are all in that.
Yeah. So there's it's funny. You go down, you'll encounter people on the internet that you may not necessarily be a fan of, but they'll be, you know, in with people that you are fans of or friends with or whatever, and it's just like real life, you know. I mean, gotta make it work somehow.
True story.
So Look, and I don't hate the woman. I don't have a problem with the woman personally. I'm just not a fan of her stuff. I don't like her content very much.
Her shtick.
Yeah. So I don't know her, so I can't really say one way or to the other if the persona that she presents is the same as in real life. I mean, for a lot of people on YouTube, like myself, for example, I mean, I got this whole Eldritch horror thing going. I am playing a character. Most of us are. To a certain degree. I mean,
I wish I was, but unfortunately, I'm too honest for my own good. So you guys see what you see.
It's not about dishonesty. It's about selling yourself.
Oh yeah, no, but even when it comes to selling myself, I wish that's probably why. Yeah, I'm not selling myself. I wish I could do that.
Sam, the only difference is me of selling myself.
If you were to meet
yes,
me,
you're a whore, Larry. Yes, you're a whore.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
You're the one that goes to bars every night and sells himself for free to women.
I get paid to.
No, not you, Samuel. You're smart enough to make sure you get paid. He's
not. Again, selling myself for free doesn't track. Like
your knees are cut from jumping out of windows.
I have never had to do that once.
Likewise. Right. Never had to.
The only difference you would find between me online and me in person is that initially I will be very shy and very nervous. Think when you give me super chats only the entire time.
Yeah, Suga. Venti is it comes from the numerical value of a large coffee.
Right.
Frankly, I think that's actually where she get it. That's not her actual last name.
Correct.
Kind of thing. And Clue, I know it's the real you, but we do present ourselves on YouTube. Most of us, like what you hear with me rather is what you get in real life. But in real life, I'm more reserved. I'm less talkative. Right. You know, there are differences. I am selling a character on here who is me, but a more exaggerated version of me. You know, and I think that's true of almost everybody who's in a public space like this, because, you know, we're doing a show here. You know, if I were just acting like myself, you guys didn't hear from me the entire time, because I'm not that talkative in a group. I'm really not. You know.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's just a thing. Like, Clue, I wasn't calling people an act. I'm just saying.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
And I'm not acting.
You know damn well what I'm saying. It's not.
I don't know what he's saying. Anybody. I feel offended and insulted.
I do too.
I
want my reparations.
I want reparations as well. I feel oppressed by.
What do you have against clowns?
They're clowns.
That's my God! Yes.
What are you saying? Clowns are jokes too? That he's just acting? You're saying JV doesn't have a heart, a voice?
I have a voice. It's just hard to keep up with because it repeats itself.
See
look at what Lou is saying.
I know what she's saying, and she and I've had this discussion before. You see how she's laughing down here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's laughing because she knows what I'm talking about. You know, stop fucking with my comments.
I don't know, Lou.
Lou knows what I'm saying too. He was giving me shit. So do you, Larry.
Yes, you each owe each of us $2 million. Which, by the way, Egypt is apparently.
Well, good luck collecting that.
It takes a village to tell the truth on this panel.
It's the second time you've made that pun.
No. Apparently, Egypt is suing Netflix for $2 billion. I hope they win.
For cultural appropriation and emotional damage.
Right, Chen Li. Right, no. That's exactly right. Because look, he's still Chen Li behind the counter of his pizza shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's trying to sell pizza.
Right.
I'm not selling anything.
Me neither. I'm not selling anything. I just end up getting right into things.
What the hell are you doing on YouTube?
Me?
I'm enjoying my friends.
And me, I'm on YouTube because, as I said, I feel like I have a moral obligation to break the narrative because I love video games. So I don't like what they're doing.
That is to do what you're selling.
So I'm selling, but I'm basically like, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job of it because I'm not trying to sell anything.
You got more subscribers. You got more subscribers than all three of us put together. So you're doing something right.
Apparently.
Wookie.
Though, did you hear? Apparently, and now I only saw one article about this, but I'm trying to find out more. Apparently, a bunch of people protested Zahi Hawass at a lecture in Los Angeles.
So what's that?
Zahi Hawass is the one of the most well-known Egyptian Egyptologists, and apparently they were protesting him because he would not accept Cleopatra as black. So, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, the only reason I know I recognize the name is because you've brought it up to me personally.
Yeah, no. Well, see, look,
like Egyptologists are not a field in which I fanboy a lot, so I don't really.
Oh my God! Now he's oppressing me over my Egyptian heritage. Did you guys hear this?
I heard it.
Hear what?
The oppression and the disdain from my Egyptian heritage.
Yep, I heard it. The dismissal of your heritage.
I was dismissing an entire profession about your heritage. Thank you very much. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, but they study oh my God. Wow.
Y'all want to know how I feel right about now?
Right now?
I knew I would find a good use for that.
There we go.
That's good. That was good.
It takes a zillish to tell you how much you owe us.
A what?
Yeah, Dempsey. Yeah, we're trying. But it's it is what it is. And we each do it in our own ways.
Right.
Honestly,
Kat, for example, is wonderful and she is awesome and all of that, but she is also less than careful when it comes to wiring.
I live on the edge, okay? Remember what we talked about like pushing the button? Yeah, it's my figurative button.
God in heaven.
That's, by the way,
lithium-ion batteries, Kat, and the loose wires.
There are no batteries next
that by the way, for those of you who are not familiar, is a photograph of her actual setup.
Yep.
It is literally a power strip with cables coming out of it. I don't see how that's dangerous. It's literally just.
You don't see how it's dangerous?
No, because if I can understand if I was stringing multiple power strips, that you don't do. But this is how, if you're going to use it, that's how it's going to look.
Yeah, I'm sure Russian scientists would said the same thing you just said before Chernobyl.
Even if you put this, like, it's not on the floor, it's not at risk of anything. It's just I plugged in a single plug into each one. What else am I going to do with it? I mean, that's what I don't get.
You do realize that I live close enough to you to see the mushroom cloud that will emanate from your house after you explode. If you don't do something about that setup.
No, I mean, I don't understand. What am I supposed to do different about the setup? I literally have one plug in each spot. That's it. It's not like.
Is it powerful enough to sustain like a what is that JV when you have a power outage?
Mm-hmm.
Or a surge.
Yeah, if you have a surge, Lord help.
It is a surge. Yeah, it is surge protected.
Well, I tell you, I hope so, because if it's not, trust me, you and that fake Cleopatra are going to look a lot alike.
And this, folks, is how you deflect.
Oh, we have
it is a surge. It has a surge protector on it. It's a rocket fish.
It takes a zillage to worry about you.
A what?
A zillage. It takes a zillage to worry.
Stop fucking with my chat. Seriously, I will boot you out. I had something up. I was showing.
I mean, I get it. I know where it's like where you have multiple like multi thingies connected, but I literally have one plug per spot, and it's designed for that. The multi plug things. I can't even know what they're called. Where it's like 3, and you put it in one spot turns into 3.
Yeah, don't use those.
No, I don't use those. I literally have. This is designed for 8 plugs, and it doesn't even. And I'm not even using every single one. And each one of them is just plugged in straight, neat. There's nothing around it. It's sitting on my desk because that way it's not on the floor or anything. There's no way it's going to get wet. If it were on the floor, it sometimes floods. So it's literally that. It is just.
But you've got cat hair floating around.
So I'm not supposed to plug anything in because I have cat hair floating around.
Not if you don't want it going into the surge protector.
No, but then what am I going to plug my computer into?
Something that won't explode.
It's not going to explode. It has a surge protector on it.
But how much will it protect you from?
And how many Red Bull cans are in the?
None. The Red Bull can is here. The power thing is over here. If it spills, it's not going to hit the. It's not going to hit the surge protector.
Sure, it will.
The cat hair will insulate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not digging on you, kid. I don't want.
No, I don't understand. What am I supposed to do differently? I literally have one plug in each spot. I mean, at one point, several years back, I wasn't as careful, but now I know to be careful. So I have literally, it's designed for that many plugs in it. That's
you know what? Built for. A buddy of mine is really good with computers and surges and stuff like that. So I'll talk to him because he has to get two. Because he built an $8,000 PC that's so powerful that if his thing goes out, it will explode and take the house with it. He had to get two.
Dempsey's dead on right here, by the way.
Oh, there's okay. Because I'm like,
got no balls.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do differently? I literally like I said, I know, for example, not to have to have multiple power strips plugged into each other, for example. That I don't have. This is plugged straight into the wall. I have another one that's also plugged straight into the wall. I have one plug in each spot. I'm not doing like doubling and tripling. It's one plug in each spot. They're like zip tied. There's nothing near them.
You're right, Zinni.
I have it. Yeah, but then what you're saying is anyone who owns a cat can't plug in anything.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm like, and I'm serious about this. I'm gonna talk to my friend and ask him what kind of. There's a certain level of surge protector you need depending on how much stuff you're plugging in and how much power they draw.
And this one is.
If the lightning has strong enough, it can just burn your house down anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not lightning is separate from that. I mean.
Generally speaking, when you get a surge, usually it's because lightning hit a transformer or something like that.
Yeah.
And so if it's strong enough, it blows through your local breaker box. It's not going to matter what you have plugged in anywhere. It's going to start a fire in your walls. And electrical fires are super fun because guess what you can't put them out with?
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys set up safely too. I just want to make sure that what you have it plugged into is safe enough for all emergencies. But I don't think you're irresponsible with what you're doing. So I want to be very careful in saying that. I'm seriously not digging on you. I just want to make sure that nothing.
And on top of that, so I recently have decided, I didn't do this before, but I decided every time I leave for work now, I shut down both of them. I have two surge power strips. Every time I leave for work, I turn both of them off. So there's no power to them when I'm at work, just to be sure.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Let's just hope that Buster isn't playing Warframe while you're at work, putting cat hair all over your controller.
Actually, one time I was leaving for work, and all of a sudden I was about to leave for work, and all of a sudden the PS4 turned on, and it turns out Her Majesty was sitting on the controller.
I knew it.
Yeah,
she's trying to kill you.
Yeah, I also have, if like the fuse box, like for example, one of the problems, for example, is like we have a heater in the other room and I have a small heater. And if I turn on if both heaters are turned on at the same time, which the one in the other room is big, it will trip the circuit breaker. So it's like you can't have both on. So yeah, the circuit breaker will if there's too much. So I know the limit on how much.
Sure. But it is what I guess what I was saying is like obviously the circuit breakers are there to protect your house from overloading the circuits and all that stuff, and and they are effective at that to a point. If you get a large enough surge through it, it will blow the box itself.
Yeah, and it's
which
not.
You don't want to be standing anywhere near that when that happens.
Yeah, no.
Trust me as somebody who apprenticed as an electrician and
I don't want to do that.
Bunch of stuff up by accident.
How do you do that? Because you know what? I want a real job.
You just find somebody who's willing to take you on as an apprentice. I mean, it's not that difficult. journeyman and master electricians obviously have to have certain criteria, but basically to be an electrical apprentice, you just got to get hired by an electrician.
Yeah, you can do it, Kat.
But generally, you have to join a union too.
It depends on the state. I didn't.
True.
I don't like unions. Everything I've heard about the writers' union makes me realize that I would suck in a union because I still keep going to work and to hell with what anybody else told me to do.
The worst jobs I ever had were union.
Well, the nice thing about getting an apprenticeship, if you do say a 2-3 year apprenticeship and you reach journeyman, which there's a process and there's a bunch of stuff you have to qualify for, but if you do that, once you have journeyman status, whatever your trade is, anywhere where that trade is applicable, you can find work. So you can literally go anywhere, say in the continental United States, where if you were a journeyman electrician, they were building stuff that required electricians and you could find work. Yes, some of it's union, some of it's not. That depends on the area, but there's always that work. You never lack for work.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons. It's also real work and not none of this spoiled nonsense. I mean, when the world falls apart, we're going to need people who actually know real jobs and not. I mean, yeah, I work retail. It's technically a real job, but
yeah,
they can't force me not to work. I'd be like, kiss my ass. I don't. Give a
they
damn.
can actually. If you join them, yes, they can.
Absolutely, they can, and they will.
Yeah, and that's why I agree with Dempsey on this. I don't like unions. I think unions are bullshit. And they're outdated, and they're they're a thing of the past that needs to go the way of the past.
They have definitely outlived their usefulness.
Were they really that useful to begin with? I mean, it was mostly about mob people trying to grab onto other people's profits.
Yeah, some were like longshoremen's union is really good. Electrician unions were really good. I'm not gonna say some names, but there's some locals that like I said, when I found out who was behind those locals, I was like, oh yeah, I need to go find another job because those guys they were useless. If something happened to you, you got rolled up for no reason. I mean, good luck getting somebody out to represent you. But then somebody shows up on a military installation, drunk off their mind, gets fired, gets back in on a technicality, and $60,000 in cash handed to him and a promotion. And this fool's guilty.
Doesn't matter if he's protected by a union.
Yeah, and that's when I was done. I was like, you guys are trying to write me up for something that you yourselves has done and didn't tell me not to do. But this guy walks back. It didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense.
No, yeah, it's they protect their own insofar as it protects the union's profits.
Well, yeah, and unions do not. The unions are not there for the cream of the crop. They are there to protect the bottom.
To a degree, they're there to protect their bottom line. Let's be honest. If they can use the workers to do that, if they they'll
Correct.
stand up for the workers as long as it serves the overall union, as long as it serves the people at the top in the union. The second it doesn't, though, I think gonna back you.
Correct.
The second that it costs the union more than it profits them, they will not back you. In general, that has been my experience with unions. I think that they're just, it's fucking mob racketeering is all it is.
And they're good for the bankrupting states.
Mm-hmm. Like California. Just saying.
Yep.
WGA. Yeah. Now, so I wouldn't. If you're in an area, and I think that New Jersey is like heavily unionized, is it not?
I
like
don't
a state. Yes. If you want to get into a trade profession, you might want to find somewhere that's right to work.
That's my state.
Oh, mine too. I mean, a lot of the states out west are, but
wait. The young Turk chick, would that happen to be Anna Kasparian?
Yes, Anna Kasparian.
Oh,
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
That's
Styx
sweet
is
summer.
Styx is smarter than she is, but she's better looking than Styx. So I mean,
True.
it balances out, I guess.
True.
So, I no offense, Styx, if you're watching, Anna Kasparian's got a better ass than you do.
True.
So, yeah, a lot of, I mean, it just depends on where you are. There are some states where, like in a municipality, right, things will be very heavily unionized, but like in the state itself is an at-will state, and so the laws get a little bit tricky there. But like I lived in Colorado for a long time. Colorado is technically a union state. It's technically a right to work state, but there are a lot of unions depending on which part of Colorado you're in. Like if you go up to any of the rich ski resort areas like Aspen or Breckenridge or any of that sort of thing, a lot of the work up there is unionized, but almost all of the area is owned by rich fucking assholes from Hollywood too. So, whereas out on the plains where the farmers are and all that stuff, it's mostly directly right to work. And in a lot of the municipalities, it depends on the profession. If you work in a convenience store, you're probably not going to be union. But if you work for, say, like a plumbing company, you're probably going to be union. It depends on the thing. And most of the trades were union.
The public library was union. It was no help at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, the public library is government too. So
right, exactly.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
We had some nasty. So
yes.
I'm just gonna say the people who tried to get me canceled, who yelled at me and whined at me last week.
What was that about?
So, well, first of all, I just found their YouTube channel. They have 17 subscribers, and nobody watches their stuff. So no. So last week I go on to a live stream. Like I said, I was doing a live stream with some guy who I was being nice. Honestly, near the end, I'm like, I was only on like 3 or 4 times. I didn't even realize I was a co-host. He never even said it. So like the week before, I didn't even show up because he waits until like 10:30 to be like, okay, I'm preparing the link. And it's like, dude, you don't talk to me all day Saturday, then all of a sudden a half an hour before. So at 10:30, I was like, oh, okay, it's not going on. And I fell asleep. Next week, I find out he canceled it because I didn't show up.
Mine too.
No, but the thing is, so this guy, so I go to the live stream and I'm like, before, the pre-stream private chat, right? That's not online. And I'm like, look, you guys, I don't think I could stick around. I haven't played Destiny 2 in a month. I think the story sucks. I'm not happy with the state of Destiny 2. And the guy with him starts asking me, because he says in his tweet that I came in ranting, why don't you like it? So I start telling him I think that, the relationship between Osiris and Saint 14 was stupid. It breaks canon. And he starts telling me he likes it and that he's black and gay. Dude. So then I multiple times said, I'm going to leave. All right. I'm out. I'm not playing Destiny 2. Clearly, this is not the place for me. Suddenly, he drops out of the live stream, which it wasn't live. Keep in mind, it wasn't live. It was pre-4. It was private. And posts a note on Twitter talking about how I'm a bigot and a homophobe. And it's like, dude, first of all, how did you write it that fast? Second of all, this was a private conversation. You're taking it out of context. I said I didn't like the story from Destiny 2. I didn't say anything against anyone who's gay. I said I didn't like the goddamn story from Destiny 2. So I turned to the guy who was supposedly I was supposed to be co-hosting this stream with. I'm like, what the hell, man? It was a private conversation. What is your friend doing? So he's like, I'll try to calm it down. And at one point, the guy retweets. So next morning, he retweets something that the other guy said and called me a bigot in. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you said you're trying to de-escalate this. I don't care. They're like, oh, we don't want to associate with someone like you. I'm like, okay, fine. You're the ones who posted this publicly. I wasn't going to say anything about this. You're the ones who made this public. I was going to leave the live stream and say absolutely nothing. If you don't want to associate with me, stop associating with me. And so I was like 3 people came at me. One of them was, I swear, this is so stupid. Non-binary, calls herself Tower Mom. And she at one point, because in his like No, he said that I made fun of robosexual. Yes, I think if you call yourself, I said that Saint 14 and Osiris are robosexual because he likes a robot. So she's like, she's attacking me because I came out as a robosexual in last week's podcast. Honey, I've never even watched your stupid podcast. If you're a robosexual, you clearly have a relationship with your vibrator that's a little too close.
Wait. So what did she say? That like you're racist against nuts and bolts?
She calls him Bob.
Bab.
No, so that guy called me a racist. And the funny thing is, at one point he's like, "You're black." I'm like, "I'm an Arab." Where did you get? I'm an Arab.
I'm still stuck on this robosexual thing.
So at one point,
wait, so she's saying that you're racist against screws that she's using to screw herself with. So you're a bigot against screwdrivers and nuts and bolts and parts.
I don't know. All I did was I said that Osiris wasn't gay because he was attracted to Saint 14, who's an exo, which is a robot. So I'm like, he's a robosexual. So apparently he posted something where I said it was derogatory, calling a robosexual. And that he didn't like my references to soy boy, which, dude, I call straight people and homosexual people soy boy. Don't make a difference to me. Get over yourself. Then when he also said that apparently I called him an exception because I'm like, nearly everybody I came across thought the Destiny 2 story sucked. He's like, you called me an exception. Yeah, to all the people I know, you're an exception. Being an exception isn't an insult. So his buddy Tower Mom, non-binary land whale, yes, honey, if she's listening, which I doubt it, non-binary land whale, calls herself Tower Mom, gets butthurt with me because I said something bad about robosexual, and that she apparently in the previous podcast, which is called Cosmodrome Radio, came out as a robosexual. I didn't want to escalate it because honestly, these people aren't worth my time. Didn't say anything, but I was gonna be like, honey, you've got too close of a relationship with your vibrator. She then tells me that I'm afraid of being blacklisted by her. So I was like, you know what? No. But just to, I'm gonna take the initiative and block you. So now, just out of curiosity, I looked up their podcast, Cosmodrome Radio. They've got 17 subscribers, and most of their videos have not a single view. Or one view. Or two. And while I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, yeah, I'm really scared. Look, I'm really scared about being blacklisted by a bunch of people who they didn't even hear the conversation. That's the funny thing. It's like it was the private pre-recorded conversation. So it's like, because this dude said I'm a bigot and a homophobe, you're all attacking me. And at one point I'm like, lady, you're attacking me. And I'm like, I'm going to play the card. I'm like, you're attacking me, a Muslim woman. She's like, I didn't attack you. I'm like, I screenshot one of her comments, which says she called me a bigot and I'm like, what do you call that? It's like, what the hell? And he's like, she has anti-woke and anti-SJW in her bio on Twitter. Yes, you want to know why? So I can avoid people like you. So that people like you don't talk to me. Because you know what you're dealing with. Dude. It was so stupid. It's a relief. Honestly, I was planning on quitting. I didn't realize I was this guy's co-host. He never even said I was a co-host. So I was planning on quitting because I got so sick of Destiny 2. But then when you have this, I'm sorry, this guy just I was talking with Mugsykins. She's like, the guy clearly just wanted to be a victim. Came in it with a chip on his shoulder, knew who I was, knew my stances, because he had a statement prepared, practically. So I was like, yeah, I'm like, you're attacking me because I'm a Muslim woman. Oh, no, you're attacking me, a Muslim woman. So she's like, no, I'm not. So I'm like, look, she's like, you're afraid of being blacklisted. I'm like, no, I'm not afraid of being blacklisted by you. You don't think I don't have enough people to play Destiny 2 without a bunch of whiny ass babies and non-binary land whales? I don't know.
Fuck them. You don't need them.
No, I didn't. No, I was just out of pure curiosity. I'm like, okay, what is the heck? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to be whining about me this week on their whatever. So I just out of curiosity, I looked it up and I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I got something to really be worried about.
Hey, Kat, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you play Destiny 2, your character, you use mostly rifles, or does your character use pistols?
I don't really use a lot of the pistols or sidearms. I do use hand cannons, which are pretty hefty pistols, but auto
Okay,
rifles.
so I understand their point. Because you use hand cannons, that's cultural appropriation.
Because she likes to get off on shoving it up her. What's it
Wow.
called?
Yes.
Wow.
You are appropriating her bob.
I'm appropriating her sex toy.
Yes.
Her boyfriend, her robot boyfriend.
Yes.
I personally just think that you got engaged with folks who have way too much time out.
Oh, definitely. So that's
and
why.
Then, but Kat, you perpetuate it by continuing to engage them.
No, I didn't. That's the thing. I'm just saying, multiple people came at me, and every single one of them, I said, "Look, I'm not going to continue this. This was a private conversation."
Why even engage in the first place?
Initially, I said that. I said I was not going to engage it. Then finally, it was not long. It was not long at all. It's like 3 people coming at me. And in fact, one guy, I didn't tell her anything about that she had a thing with her vibrator. I just said, she's like, "You want to be black? You're afraid you're going to be blacklisted." I was like, you know what? No. And don't worry, I'll take the first step. And I blocked her. Another one of them came at me a couple days later, acting like, "Oh my God, these kids are stupid." He's like, it says you respect freedom of speech. Well, that means you have to respect preferred pronouns, and Nimbus's pronouns need to be respected. And it's like, I didn't even respond. I'm like, dude, first of all, you don't understand freedom of speech, and second of all, Nimbus isn't real.
And also, what this idiot just said, that's not freedom of speech. That's saying that you don't have freedom of speech, that you have to do something.
But I didn't even respond to him. The most of the people I didn't even respond to. And finally, I blocked all of them because, you know what? It's not worth my time. To me, I've changed my view on blocking. My view on blocking is you have nothing worthy of my time to say. So I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to block you because that's my way of saying you are so insignificant to me that you have nothing. You're not worth my time.
Well, now, maybe it's because when I saw it, I think I was at work when I saw it, because when I caught wind of it, I actually went on your Twitter to go to battle with them. And I was like, okay, where's, and I had to get back to work, and I was like, where's the comments at? I went in there to redirect them to me.
One guy actually came to my defense, which was one of their followers, not mine, where he said, "I wasn't there. I'm not going to make a judgment." And so as I said, that's why I immediately was trying to cut it down quickly, because I'm not going to waste my time with these people. They're not worth my time. They're stupid. I mean, come on. She calls herself a non-binary tower mom and a land whale. And I hate to say this, Destiny 2 isn't the game it used to be. So if you're proud of yourself for playing Destiny 2, good on you, Habibti, but you suck. Game's so baby-ass easy, good on you. Probably have somebody making builds for you and carrying you through half the shit because you're such a...
I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, most likely.
Not wasting any time on them.
No, because look, one of the things I've learned is me and Muggsykins, I know someone else like Muggsykins. There are a handful of women like me and Muggsykins who love playing video games, go for it hardcore, go for the hard stuff. All right, aren't gonna. But when you have somebody who's so caught up in the Destiny 2 story because, oh my God, they're non-binary, that tells me you're not playing Destiny 2 because you're good at the game, or you want to try and get good, or you're trying to get good, or you're trying to do the hard content. It tells me that all you care about is, oh my God, non-binary, somebody's gonna carry me through it because I'm a lazy ass bitch woman who doesn't play video games for the game. I play it for the stupid story. And call yourself a non-binary non-binary tower mom, good on you. It's your way of getting attention. No, there's very few female gamers I have any respect for, because most of them are just, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, fair enough. There's very few female gamers I have respect for because I'm a bigot.
No, well, Clue, I mean, when it comes down to it, these people, all right, they call themselves gamers, right? It's not that they care about video games, all right? Who plays Destiny 2 because there's a non-binary character? You're a loser, because that's not why you play a freaking video game. It's like the discussion me and Muggsykins had earlier. It's like, oh my God, you added a gay where it's like, okay, you're going to put somebody gay in your ad. Do you really think gay people are that stupid? Most gay people aren't going to be like, oh my God, you added a gay person. I'm going to now buy your product. No, I don't drink Monster, okay, I drink Red Bull. You put a Muslim in your ad for Monster, I'm not going to buy Monster. I don't care for Monster. So if you are one of those weak-minded, pathetic losers who only plays a video game because, oh my God, non-binary like me, then that's what you are. You're pathetic. You have no sense of self-worth. You play a video game because you need to be affirmed by a freaking video game. You're sad. You're very...
I play video games because they're fun.
Yes, but they don't. They play them because, oh my God, non-binary makes me feel so affirmed.
I don't play with them because they're stupid.
Oh, I mean, that's a personal opinion. I mean, there are those who say that
right,
a lot of stuff that you were interested in is too. And the fact is, like I'm the bridge, I'm the crossover. There's a lot of stuff you like. There's a lot of stuff Kat likes, and I like both of those things. Yeah. So, like, that's a personal preference thing. But
yeah, I had a roommate who was a gamer, and this was years ago when the newest Grand Theft Auto came out, and I had to go to work. He came home. I come home after 10 hours. He's sitting in the exact same place. Hasn't changed his clothes. Hey, multifaceted. And then I also saw, and then so I went to sleep. I woke up. He's in the exact same spot, wearing the exact same clothes. And then I went to work, and I come home. He's sitting in the exact same spot, wearing the exact same clothes.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, then I can understand why you don't like it. No. The most I'll play is during the weekends when I'm live streaming, because I'm live streaming.
I'll be honest. That sounds like that dude had a problem.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that's indicative of everybody. But yeah, that it does happen because, like any other drug, it can be very addictive and detrimental. Yes, I get that. But I mean, honestly, you could have swapped out his game system with heroin, and he'd be doing the exact same thing.
Right.
You know. So whereas some of us just dip in once in a while, and we have our fun, and we move the fuck on with our lives.
Yeah.
No, just take a bump every now and then.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, sometimes I'll play an hour or two after work. Not every day, even. I'll play maybe an hour or two after work because I have a full-time job, and I come home from work, and I'm exhausted. And you know what? My job is my priority. So, I want to make sure I get enough sleep. I want to make sure, I don't smell disgusting, so I take a shower.
Well, you also understand the basic principle, like drugs. Video games cost money. In order to make money, you have to go make money. So work would be the priority in this case.
Correct.
Yeah, but the thing is also work. You know what? Like a friend of mine was like, if they paid you to play video games, would you take it? No, because I want to contribute to society. Sitting on my ass playing video games, getting paid to do it. Yeah, that sounds sweet. But you know what? I work in a store. I still contribute to the economy. I'd rather do that. I'd rather do something than just sit around and play video games. No, and I get it. To some people, it's entertainment. I get it. I get all that. But to me, it's not fulfilling.
I'm not gonna lie. If I get paid to watch films and TV shows, I would quit my job tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's to each their own, really. But in that terms, like. Yes, I will say this: moderation is key in everything that you do. Everything, correct. It's key in what you eat, how you dress. The hours that you keep. It's key, obviously, in your hobbies, especially in your hobbies and your vices, because those are the first things that'll destroy you. But anything that you overdo, like you can work yourself to death.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Hey, love it. We're not too shabby today. And also, real quick, I wanted to address this. I'm assuming, Zillage, you were talking about me. It wasn't really my Hank Hill voice.
Wait, can I just
damn it.
Can I just say thank you to Larry because I appreciate that. Thank you for the fact that you're willing to go in and say something. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I just wish I had more time to really scroll through because when I saw that I was heated. I even called Samuel and he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I'm about to go in there and blast the hell out of whoever."
Hey, Roman.
Yes, I would, because I don't want that. That's not what I don't want to do that.
Roman, I love you.
I've already said the reason I make content is because I feel an obligation to break the narratives, and because I'm a big fan of video games. So when someone says, "Oh, you don't like the Halo TV series because it's like, no, I'm a woman and a minority. What are you gonna do?"
Hey, Muggsy.
Muggsy's back.
Well, you know what they'll do? They'll do what Joy Behar did to Senator Tim Scott. He doesn't understand racism because he's a Republican.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
so you know what he said? I'll see you Monday on The View. Say it to my face.
Nice. But then it's like what they said about Larry Elder, who I really liked. Larry Elder. He's awesome.
Yeah, he'll tell you about Relief Factor.
But on the other hand, you know what? I'll tell you this. How much fun do you think I had after 9/11 dressed like this?
None. And I don't know many that did.
So, yeah, don't tell me I don't know. And it does. They tend to. Yeah.
Yeah, he should have been. He should have been governor. Funny how the racism came out against him.
Yeah. And they did nothing about it. They actually supported it. Probably. They're like, yeah, good. No, I really liked him. He should have been governor. I can't believe that greasy hair, disgusting.
Okay.
Oh, you know he's gonna run for president, right?
Okay.
Wait! Oh God! No!
Not this time around, but he'll get to it.
Can I ask a quick?
Sure.
Question. Because for me, I live in the state right next to California. I could probably guess the answer for Sam, but Kat, you got just in that statement, you got really worked up that Larry Elder didn't win governor of California.
Because he's a good guy.
Why do you care? Why do you care?
I just care because I think he's a good guy. I think he would.
It doesn't affect you, though.
It doesn't affect me. No, it doesn't.
Really? How so, Sam?
I disagree, because historically speaking, what happens in California, the rest of the country follows suit.
Yeah.
You know, what happens in California affects the rest of the country eventually down the line. And the more left and commie that it's gotten, the rest of the country in degrees has followed. Yes, there's pockets of resistance, but you know, California has always exerted an inordinate influence, not just on politics in this country, but in culture. You know,
Are you telling me I grew up in California?
Yeah.
So I know exactly how they're in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a bubble.
And what you said, that makes sense, Sam.
On top of that, you know what? You want good leaders in this country, and Larry Elder's a good guy. You know what? From what I've heard about him, and what I've heard him say, he seems like a good guy, a good person to be a governor of a state. Yeah, it doesn't directly affect me as much, but it would still be nice to see someone like him as governor of California. In addition, in some ways, I mean, what happened to that law where, you know, the poor father in Texas can't get his son from becoming his daughter because of the laws in California. If Larry Elder had been elected, that would not have been a problem. That poor father.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, my issue, and also, like, how many times has a governor from California or a statesman from California achieved high office in this country, in, like, say, Washington, in the federal government?
Reagan.
It's happened. Reagan's one example. I mean, but it's happened numerous times. Newsom. Newsom has been bad for California. Let's brass tacks. He's been bad for California, and by extension, the rest of the country.
Jerry Brown was bad.
Newsom is planning on sitting in the Oval Office at some point in his career.
We all know that, but he's going to fail. Just like
I don't know that he is, man, but I hope he does.
He will. Just like homeboy in Texas that keeps running for governor, thinking
no,
that
Beto doesn't have half the fucking charisma. doesn't come anywhere near Newsom's level of ability to play the politics game. He just doesn't compare.
And I get what Sam is saying, because Gavin looks stately. He can.
Yeah.
But he knows how to play. He knows how to play the crowd. I
Satan
mean,
looks stately too.
Yeah, and he'll get all the bitches to vote for him too.
Yeah, well, if you're a woman and you're pathetic enough to vote on a guy because he looks good, you don't deserve to vote. I mean, come on, that's just come on. You got to be kidding. I have no respect. That's no. But the other thing is his policies affect other states. I'm betting you, because some of the stuff
his
that
policies
Phil Murphy,
do not.
Yeah, they do. Phil Murphy's doing his stuff.
Okay.
Phil Murphy.
They're copying each other, but he has no say over what other states do.
Yeah, Gavin.
But they're copying him.
Okay,
they're
Gavin
copying him.
Newsom has the only time that Newsom had any influence was because the governor of my state during the lockdowns, yes, he did copycat what Newsom did, but Newsom doesn't pass a law in his state and it affects my state. No, that is just
not your state. But I'm telling you, Phil Murphy has been passing laws based on California. We just had the law about don't take kids out, the trans kid law. It's in New Jersey. It's a safe state for trans kids. It's in New Jersey. Where do you think
the liberal states copy each other?
Yes, Phil Murphy is copying Gavin Newsom.
That I guess that's my issue is that
and it's not
because
the first
what
time.
happens in California eventually bleeds over to the other liberal states, and if they have their way,
but they'll do
Washington,
it too. I mean,
they will force it on everyone else.
Well, I mean, California also copies New York and whoever else. It's like they just all
Chicago.
work in tandem with each other. Yeah, they just all work in tandem with each other. It's just in California, it's a arrogance. That's why I say they live in a bubble, because they are told to believe that California runs the entire country, when in fact they don't. It's not just certain states. They're like, oh, we run the entire country, and what we say goes, this, and this. Meanwhile, majority of the country is looking at them like, what a bunch of dummies.
Which is why states should adopt their own electoral college.
Yep.
No, but I mean, our taxes in New Jersey, we have one of the highest taxes. They are copying a lot of stuff from California. New Jersey is copying, which is why, God, I wish Jack Ciattarelli had won. He lost by less than 1%. And there's, what's his name? Project Veritas, when it was actually Project Veritas, actually released a video where some guy who wasn't a citizen was voting in the government election of New Jersey.
That's what happened in California.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Suka makes a point. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in California spreads like cancer.
Like cancer, yeah.
Nice. That makes absolute sense.
And and that's the thing. I think somebody else made that point. Yeah, Zenny. The problem isn't so much like if it were to stay in California, it would be one thing, right? But the people who vote this shit in, who vote the people in, who enact these policies in, then move out to other states, and proceed to fuck it up there.
We get, because that happens a lot in my state and in my area, and even though I was born in California and I spent my youth in Southern California, I've been out here for 15 years. We hate it when, especially SoCal folks.
So do we.
Right.
Up in Wyoming, we watched what happened to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado might as well be fucking California at this point. And it's like, I'm in Wyoming. There are two places on our map. If you were to do like the red blue map for the state of Wyoming, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are two places that would show up bright fucking blue, but only two.
Mm-hmm.
Albany County, where Laramie is, where the University of Wyoming is, and it's also our highest, our most densely LGBT population,
right.
And Jackson Hole, Jackson County, that is where most of your Hollywood, California rich asshats live. Also, the Cheneys,
right.
But
which
and those
might as well be which might as well be blue
Everywhere
anyway,
else is red as fuck, but they don't have the population centers to back it up. We don't have that many people here. If too many people from California come in, there are more people in like smaller cities in California than there are in my entire fucking state.
Right. I mean, my state alone, we've got 3.2 million people in my state. 2.3 are in Clark County,
right.
Where I'm at.
Yeah.
So there's Clark County, and then there's Reno, the way up north. Hey, George, and a whole lot of nothing in between.
Right. And that's kind of my point. Like there's less than 500,000 people in the entire state of Wyoming.
Oh,
there are medium and small sized towns in California that have more fucking people than that.
Mm-hmm.
If just one of those towns, say for example, was chock full of blue voters, and they just decided en masse to move their town to fucking Wyoming, it would completely fuck the dynamics of this state. The whole state just fucked because of that. And if that happens, I mean, obviously, I know that in the National Electoral College, Wyoming doesn't count for much. We get exactly one vote because we have low population, and we almost didn't get that historically.
Well, you get 3 because you get your congressman and then your 2 senators.
Yeah, but it's in the Electoral College we get 1 because it's based on population. And that was a bare thing, and we almost didn't get that. When they set up the states in the Electoral College.
You and DeMontana, huh?
Yep, and the Dakotas.
Mm.
I think South Dakota might get 2, but North Dakota's just about as barren as we are, and colder.
Ooh, burn. No, thank you.
You ever see Fargo?
No, a long time ago.
Yeah, but you remember how it looked like everything was flat and white?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole fucking state looks like that.
Mm.
Except the Badlands, then it's a little different.
Sounds like no. That sounds like no. It sounds like no Nebraska.
Yeah, but no corn.
Oh, okay.
So it's just anyway, North Dakota sucks, but it sucks for reasons other than political. It sucks because it's cold and it's barren and there's a lot of wind.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Said no one ever.
Yeah, not fun. I like Wyoming. I live in Wyoming. It's not terrible here for the most part. Most people who come here, they have we don't ask a lot of questions about people's past, and we expect the same in return. People get along just fine here, and it's not bad. In a lot of ways, it's not bad. It's got its issues. I do bitch about it. Most of it has to do with climate and weather, and the occasional bit of wildlife trying to eat my face.
Okay, then no, for me, no.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we also we can conceal carry without a permit.
Oh, now you're winning me over.
Oh, there we go. There goes Cat. I want to shoot things.
Yes.
I want to shoot things. I want to kill things.
It ain't necessarily about shooting and killing things, man. It's about having the option to do it.
Yes.
I get
and
it.
Not having to ask the government for fucking permission to have the option to do it. Euphemism, like concealed carry for that? No, it's not a euphemism. It's a real thing. If that's what you're referring to. We can conceal carry our firearms without a permit in Wyoming.
Gotcha.
I am so jealous.
You don't have to have a permit to own them. You don't have to have a permit to carry them, and you certainly don't have to have a permit to carry them concealed about your person. You do have to take classes to teach you how to shoot if you don't know how to shoot, but that is a safety thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I would want to take a class because I've only shot once, and it was the greatest experience ever.
Yeah. There are a couple of other things about Wyoming that I like. For instance, our state government has in fact a plan in place. Should the states break up for whatever reason, should we an end come to the union, a national divorce, whatever form that takes, we have economic and border control plans in place to secure Wyoming.
Okay, I'll move there.
We have a currency just in case we need one.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it's not like out in the public, but we are prepared just in case something like that goes down, so that Wyoming can act as a sovereign, independent nation.
Nice.
If the need arises, you know, there are benefits to being here. There really are. I mean, we aren't quite, you know, like all you hear these days about the freest states is like, oh, it's Florida, that's Texas. It's like, you know, they just say that because nobody fucking likes the weather in Wyoming.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, do you blame them?
Well, no, because the weather here sucks. I will say that. It does. It's been raining for 2 fucking weeks, and before that,
oh hell no!
So South Dakota does have Governor Nome, but South Dakota also has a bunch of other politicians arrayed against her. So there's that. It's mostly a free state though, for the most part. But yeah. So no, I'm not. Oh, the wildlife? No, that's literal too. That was not a euphemism. We have bears, cougars, wolves, what have you. The fluffy cows won't try to eat your face, but they will mash it into paste. You know, so there's that too.
Hey, and Roman is saying at some point, Sam, to invite him on.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely will. We'll throw you a link at some point in the future here. Every Saturday, same time.
Great guy.
Yeah. Cool.
I think he knows Nomi too, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So
He came to the Vegas meetup.
Nice. It's always good to connect.
Yep.
It's a good thing. Yeah, they're not funny Highland cows. They're fluffy cows, and don't mess with the fluffy cows. They will kill you and your entire family.
What's a fluffy cow?
Bison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't pet the fluffy cows. Don't feed the fluffy cows. Do not come within a couple of feet of their babies. Just leave the fluffy cows alone.
I went to a Yellowstone National Park, and I'd heard about the buffalo and folks taking pictures of the buffalo. As we're entering the park, they give you this little yellow flyer. It says, "Warning: guests have been known to be gored by buffalo." And I'm like, why? Why am I here?
Cool.
Yep. That would have been my cue to turn around, get in the car, and leave.
Well, yeah, and then so we were riding along, and luckily it was during the daytime because they said, you know, it's best to do this during the day because when you at night the bears and wolves come out. I'm like, okay, check, red flag again. We saw like this big clearing area, and there were some elk out there in the field just eating whatever. And so someone took the camera, adjusted the lens, click. All of a sudden, an 11-point buck just raises its head, and
that was fun.
And I'm like, nope, I'm getting back in the van. Because I'm sorry, my insurance policy does not cover being gored.
Yeah, that is always fun. I had that happen to me in the middle of the town in Colorado once. I mean, and by a town I mean like, you know, a city. It was Fort Collins, in case y'all are wondering. It's a medium-sized city in Wyoming or in Colorado. Mm-hmm. And I was walking, and there's this patch of grass in between the developed blocks and all that stuff. And I'm walking. I got my headphones on. I was going to work, going through this little field here, and I hear this noise in front of me. It sounded kind of like a, you know, I wasn't sure what it was. And I looked up, and there's a doe. There's a doe standing in front of me, and I was just like, huh, that's okay. Well, I'll just stay here until she decides to move because, you know, I don't want to disturb her or whatever. And then I hear this grunt and a pawing sound from my immediate right. And I looked over, and there was her mate lowering his 7 points at me.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I'm just going to turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
Which I did. This is in the middle of a metropolitan area, by the way. It does happen in the you know, flyover states, as it were. So.
I like the flyover states.
I
think they feel more America.
Hey, JV, I think Dempsey's in your chat, right?
Dempsey, yeah. Well,
okay. He's asking for Larry's channel link, so I can post it on StreamYards, but I don't know if it'll end up over there or not.
Just pop it in the private. In the private chat then.
Okay. It is in the private chat if you want to drop that over there for him.
Got it.
So yeah, there we go. And yeah, that's the actual. Yes, there's a lot of Lawrence Knights on YouTube, and a lot of them are famous musicians.
Yep. I didn't know that until after. I was like, well.
Yeah. No, the first time I tried to find he's my friend, and the first time I tried to find his channel, I went through like 50 of them before I finally figured it out. So,
do national parks get some form of government funding? Yes. That's why they're national parks.
Yeah, they're in fact owned and operated by the land is owned by the federal government. That's how they protect them. I don't know how it works in India, but yeah, all of it is funded through taxes.
Thanks.
Most of my state is that.
Yeah,
most of my state is that.
A good portion of mine is. This so the National Parks Program was started by Teddy Roosevelt back in the day as a way to ostensibly, quote unquote, preserve natural areas, but what it was to preserve land for the U.S. government.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So they can
they own most of the land in the country.
So then they can later sell it, do whatever they want with it. It's theirs. Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Grant Gregory, how's it going? He's a fun guy.
Hey, does Dempsey have a channel?
I believe he does, actually.
Okay, let me look it up. Deep.
So, yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we do this show every Saturday afternoon, my time, which is, it's like evening for Kat and Larry.
Yeah.
Rotating cast of characters come through here, usually some of the usual suspects. And then we've got another show that we do Friday nights, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Larry and I, and now Nomi, we've added her to the permanent roster on there as of last night. And then I've been doing this thing with Ryan from Legion Games on Sundays and Horny Alf, where we go over Star Trek that we've been doing lately too. Specifically right now, season 3 of Picard, but there's some plans in the works for other stuff later that I don't think
if you guys do Star Trek Deep Space Nine, you might have to include me on that because I love Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Siska's my man.
It may come to something like that, Kat. I probably shouldn't announce anything directly yet, but yeah. So, but there are plans in the works to do some fun stuff down the road with that and all that. So, but most of the time too, like if we're on and my co-hosts have channels that they can also stream to, we do the simulcasting thing because I think rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Right. It builds hours and it builds views and it just draws more attention to everyone's channel.
And more people get to enjoy us.
True.
I mean that's really
well. More people get to enjoy me.
I mean, they did. Bye.
Shut up, Larry.
Clearly, you're missing Shadow because
No, I'm really not.
Where is Captain America anyway?
I don't know. He was in chat at the beginning, and then
he probably had work.
He's got a part-time job now, so yeah, he's working.
I think he has 2.
Good for
What's
him.
he doing? Modeling, bouncing, what?
Probably bagging groceries. Would be my guess.
I think he did mention Starbucks, which good luck.
A barista.
Good luck, Shadow.
And we thought he hated people already.
I know, right?
Oh,
barista shit's gonna turn him.
Wait till he gets that latte wrong.
Right.
And somebody need to tell him Edgelord is probably not welcome there.
Have you been to a Starbucks lately?
No,
I was gonna say they are like woke as hell. Wait until
they're all edgelords.
Wait until he gets his first pink-haired lunatic who starts screeching about how he got their pronouns wrong.
He goes to college. He already sees that.
Yeah. This drink doesn't have soy.
You don't need honey. I hate to break it to you. You don't need any more soy. I'm doing you a favor.
Oh boy!
If you get in an accident, he's gonna demand a soylene drip.
That's terrible, Larry. That's a bad pun. Bad pun.
Boo.
It takes a village to get it right.
Oh, that's the third time. That's twice this episode, and the third time you
No,
used that
that's
one.
third. That's the third time I've used village.
Yeah, food service is terrible. It's not a fun gig.
I mean,
It's a good place to start, though, to build character and to build an appreciation of how that is supposed to work. Like
Yes.
exchange of goods and services.
Correct. I'm still in that field, so
I tell you what, if he keeps that thing right around, if he keeps that job right around Christmas season, he's gonna be sorry he had it, because people are gonna be begging him for bags of coffee. Or the certain brands come out certain types of year.
Oh yeah.
The only time that I've ever seen worse than that is a friend of mine, my friend's husband, and we're friends too. He goes on Facebook. Keep in mind Facebook, and this is 2016, right? And it goes, "Hey everybody," and he's an engineer. I just got it. He posts his hiring agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
The job's at Louis Vuitton. How many women do you know? Do you know how many women that he hadn't heard from in years was hitting him up asking for a purse? His mom was getting in a fight with people because she was demanding a purse from him.
Oh God, I know what that's like.
In an hour, he had like a couple of hundred women on his page fighting and demanding purses from him.
That's ridiculous. Speaking of,
And then they started calling him, the ones that had his number. And then next time I saw him, he was like, "I shouldn't have done that."
No.
Yeah.
He was like, "I shouldn't have told anybody where I work." He said, "Larry, they've been calling me nonstop, demanding." I said, "You shouldn't have done it."
Never, ever give away your work location, because, some people are cool about it. Some people won't be. I mean, that's just the nature of like humanity, really.
Right.
People are jacked up. They are. And on that cheery note, we're probably going to bring this episode to a close. We've been running over 3 hours now, so
good times.
And we've all got stuff we've got to get on with this evening, as it were. So that said, why don't we go around the horn? JV, where can the good people find you?
Tomorrow they will find me on Wookie Be Bad, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Myself, I believe Tyler the Red Beard, or it's Static 2020, with special guest Magitech Mags.
Nice.
And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my regular content, and then who knows with the other panel shows that I'm on, who knows what's going on with them, but you will all know when it is. But definitely the Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Cannoli Sasquatch. They are doing their movie review, and they will be reviewing Joker. So, of course, they're bringing me on for that. And you're going to get something special. You're going to get this in full Joker glory.
Cool. It will be special. It will be. I think actually the first time I ever saw you were in full makeup.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was, I can't remember what the occasion was, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that you were in full makeup. You had the green hair and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, Larry.
Yes.
What you got coming up?
So, as you guys know, I am working on my channel. I will have everything set up, and I will release the link next Friday. I'm already going through my current library of games, and I'm also looking at picking up Diablo 4, and just make a decision of how I want to start it off. But the best thing to do is to just start it off. So I will have 2 channels. It will not be the same one that you guys see. I may still do something with this one, but because we moderate. I moderate and do all the stuff that I do. I wanted to keep it a bit separate, but I want to at least have it so people can find me or if they need to message me. But bringing everything back to circle, you can find me here with Samuel the Infamous every Friday on Abyss of Musings, and usually every Saturday on this show if I have time. That's it.
Fair enough. Yeah, and we do a lot of stuff with Larry. Moving on to Kat.
Yo, I'm Kat the Hijabi Gamer. I have a YouTube channel, The Hijabi Gamer. I will be making more content. Recently, I did one about Netflix Cleopatra. Tomorrow, I will be live streaming Warframe with Muggsykins, Behemoth, UA. We've gotten Zenny into Warframe and even Shadow into Warframe. Warframe is free. Download it. It's on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. Just send me a message on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at GamerHijabi if you want to join us on the Discord. Thursdays, me and Shadow of Hawk have a live stream called Merry Madness. It's been up in the air because Shadow has a second job now, so it's kind of difficult. Other than that, I'll be on Legion Games Royal Rumble on Friday, and then back here again.
Nice. Also, she's like a crack pusher with that Warframe stuff.
I did not mean for people to get into it, and then I'm like, hey, people are liking it. So
come to the dark side. We have Warframe.
Warframe isn't a game; it's a way of life now.
You say so. Sound like a pusher. I'm just saying.
Hey, no, I am a pusher now. I am definitely a pusher.
I wonder why I don't like games now. There you go.
It's yeah. I just make it fun of Kat because it's funny.
I am a pusher. The only sad thing is I'm not a partner with Digital Extremes because I got people into the game.
Fair enough. I guess that brings it back around to me. I have just listed off all the crap that I'm doing. So a little bit earlier in the show, so you can go back and look at that. So we will cut this short and sweet. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all of my panelists and co-hosts here. It's been a lot of fun, as it usually is, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all. Then remember, with that being said, it could always be worse, YouTube. It could be raining flaming cobras. Good night,
Toodles.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking